The main character held out his hand, and the man told the guy that he entrusted everything to him. The main character asked me to trust him and said that he really took over his ideas. One day they will definitely do it. After a while, the main character opened his eyes and thought that he had a headache. The guy didn't understand where he was. The young man touched his head, and he realized that he had a bandage on it. The guy tried to shout at least to someone, but he had something with his voice, and he couldn't shout. The guy was wondering what was going on with him, so he looked at his reflection. But he saw another person in him. The main character did not understand who he was. A couple of days after waking up, there are a few things he realized. It's hard to believe, but the main character was an ordinary office employee, and it seems to the guy that he is reincarnated in another world. The guy was shocked and asked his servants what kind of place it was and why he was there. But they did not understand what happened to the guy. The main character was reborn into Samuel, a 9-year-old boy. He became the eldest son of Baron Reinbach with a small estate in the countryside. But still, Samuel could not understand why he had reincarnated into this world. The main character remembered that when he returned home, he drank whiskey, and later, without eating or taking a shower, the guy immediately jumped into bed. Samuel tried to remember what happened to him in the end. Reincarnation is very often associated with death. Samuel understood what it meant. He was dead. But there was no way to verify this. Samuel thought that his memories of life were vague. Moreover, he remembered his past life. This is how reincarnation manifests itself. Nevertheless, the guy's current problem is his brother Mannion, who is a year younger than him. It's obvious that he beat up Sam under the pretext of sword training. The guy believes that this is what caused his memory to awaken. The main character wondered if Sam's personality had died then. But still, he decided that he shouldn't think about it. The guy needs to figure out what to do now in this situation. The young man thought that, as far as he knew, he had no talent for fencing. The Reinbach family seems to have become famous thanks to the sword, according to the current head of the family. Samuel was told that he should be able to use a sword. People say that Sam's biological mother died and his father's mistress, Yolanda, became his only legitimate wife. Samuel thought that she wasn't cute at all. With the help of his stepmother, Sam was ousted as the next head of the family. His younger brother Mannion became the new successor. Sam thought about himself, that he had been through so much. Right now, the guy can't do whatever he wants with his body. But nevertheless, Sam was sure that he could not sit idly by. Until now, Sam had been just a cog in the machine, unable to become anything more. But with this body, Sam will be able to perfect himself. The guy was absolutely sure that with such opportunities he would become the best. At that moment, Derek knocked on Sam's door. The man came into the room, apologized to the guy, and said that his food was already ready, so he could pack up and come down for breakfast. Sam thanked Derek for this and said that he would come to the table now. The guy was just getting hungry. In addition to Sam, the butler Derek and the maid Daphne live in this house. Sam wished good morning to Daphne, and the girl greeted him in return. Sam started breakfast, and the guy thought that according to his father, a man who does not wield a sword has no right to sit at the table with his family. But the guy himself was even happy about it. He only felt sorry for these two who were so kind to Sam. It was only thanks to them that he was not left alone after his mother's death. Daphne put a book on the guy's table and said that she brought him what he asked for. Sam thanked the girl for that. Sam thought that since he didn't have the gift of swordsmanship, he would use magic if it existed. If I were a guy, it would be stupid not to use it. Suddenly, Sam heard Derek and Daphne turn to the guy and start sniffing. The guy saw that tears were flowing from their eyes, and Sam asked them not to cry. Derek told Sam that he was so good and wherever his father looked. Daphne said that everything would be fine. They promised to always be there for Sam. They swore to take care of the young master on behalf of his late mother. Sam was embarrassed, and he thanked the guys for it. The guy thought that his mother was a maid in this place. In the past, they were comrades, and his stepmother used to be a maid. Suddenly, Daphne turned to Sam and asked her to listen. It made the guy tense. The girl said that even if he did not have a talent for magic, she asked him not to give up no matter what. Sam thought about Daphne's words. He agreed with the girl and thanked Daphne for being so worried about him. Sam went up the stairs and said he would be upstairs. Daphne and Derek watched the guy go. Sam went into his room and sat down at the table. The guy said that he would start reading the book because he really wanted to learn something new about magic. Sam decided that since he was reincarnated in another world, he should try to do everything in his power. After a while, Sam read in a book that in order to use magic, you need a sufficient amount of it in your body. The guy read a lot and learned that only a few people can become wizards, even if they know how to use magic. According to the book, just by reading a spell, you can determine if he has abilities or not. Sam was a little worried before this because it was the first time in the practice of magic. The guy decided to set himself up for a good outcome and thought that he should not be afraid of this. Sam decided to start with an elementary spell to make it easier for him. The guy decided to concentrate and he said a spell with which the fire should be lit, and immediately fire broke out from Sam's finger. The pillar of fire was of great power and it rushed straight up. This scared the guy very much and he started screaming for the fire to stop because his ceiling started burning. Sam didn't know how to stop this spell. Daphne felt it and she asked the young gentleman why the smell of burning was coming from his room. The girl went into Sam's room and looked up. There was a big fire stain on the ceiling and the guy himself was screaming that his finger hurt. Daphne turned to the young gentleman and asked him to explain what kind of stain it was and where it came from. Sam told the girl, and Daphne replied that now she understood what had happened to him. The girl asked Sam again that he couldn't control the amount of magic. The guy replied that yes, that's right. He just told the fire to light up. But the guy doesn't know how to cancel this spell. Daphne said that perhaps the master has magical powers, but Sam immediately started asking the girl not to tell her father about it. He was very ashamed of his rash act. Daphne asked the young man if he was sure of this. Maybe it will change his father's attitude towards the guy. Sam replied that yes, he was absolutely sure of it. Daphne agreed with Sam, but told him not to do anything dangerous anymore. The guy realized his mistakes, and he asked the girl for forgiveness. Daphne said she didn't forbid him to use magic, but still he shouldn't do anything that could cause a fire. They are in the house, so Sam should do it in a secluded place. Sam replied that he would talk to Derek about it. The guy wasn't sure if he could do it all alone. But if Derek is with him, then the guy will have nothing to fear. Suddenly, Daphne said that she finally wanted to ask the guy for something else. The girl hugged Sam sharply and asked him not to bother her too much anymore. Sam thought that yes, he had completely forgotten that he was still a child to Daphne. It's only natural that she's worried about the guy. Sam replied to the girl that he would not do anything dangerous anymore. He promised that to Daphne. The girl turned to the young gentleman and said that she congratulated him on becoming a wizard. Daphne admitted that she was really very happy for him. This was nice for the guy to hear, and so he thanked the girl. After a while, Sam packed up and went to the forest in order to start practicing magic. The guy realized that he couldn't use fire. Sam started to warm up and said that then he would try something else. Sam remembered from the book that there are several types of magic in total. Outcast elemental magic, protection magic, and support magic. This time, Sam decided to try to strengthen his body with magic. If he manages to do this, then the probability that he will be beaten unconscious will be less. Sam decided to get down to business. Sam held his hand out in front of him and he asked the magic that fills his body to give him strength. The guy realized that he had succeeded. Sam's body felt like his body had become lighter. Sam decided to jump up, and suddenly he was very high off the ground. The guy was able to see all the nearby houses. This scared the guy. He tried to gently approach the ground so as not to get hurt. When Sam was on the ground, he was very glad that he had succeeded. Sam said that it was very cool and he never thought he would be able to jump like that. Sam thought it was better than fighting with a sword. The guy suggested that hand-to-hand combat might be more effective. The guy decided that he needed to try again. Sam gathered his strength into a fist and delivered a powerful blow. The blows were so powerful that all the birds in the area flew away. The tree was badly damaged by such a blow, and Sam was delighted with his strength. Sam noticed that the pain in his arm was not even felt. Sam assumed it was because of the strengthening of the body. The guy didn't know that he had a talent for magic. Sam wondered if that was enough to fight. It was hard for him to believe that such a force could not work. Sam was sure that with such thirst could not work. Sam was sure that with such strength, he could become an adventurer. Sam understood that this was only the first step in learning his abilities. Sam was faced with the question of how long he would stay in his house. The young man's father is not interested in him because he does not know how to use a sword. and the guy's stepmother is not brave enough to tell him to his face that he should have died. It's not even worth talking about Mannion. At least Sam wants his servants to be happy. He would be lonely without them. Sam wondered if there was any point in thinking about it now. He has to get stronger no matter what. Suddenly, Sam heard a loud roar behind him. Sam turned around and saw that a huge bear had appeared right in his path. Sam was very scared of this. He did not expect this. He started running away from the bear and screaming very loudly in fear. Sam couldn't figure out where this bear came from. Sam was sure he couldn't run away from him now. The guy was very scared. He tried to run as fast as possible. Sam tried to calm himself down and not panic. The guy thought he was running away right now, but he was going to be the best version of himself. The guy stopped and began to think about what he would do after he ran away. She'll probably come home and cry. Sam decided that no, it wouldn't happen. The guy was doing magic. He can't just back off after that. The guy decided to act. He gathered all his strength into a fist and hit the bear with all his might. The blow was very strong, so the bear flew away some distance from the guy. The bear immediately growled in pain, and Sam was glad that he had defeated the bear. Still, Sam couldn't believe he'd managed to do it. Sam looked at the slice and realized that it was sharper than it had been before. Sam thought about the fact that it is physically possible to develop without restrictions. The guy looked at his hand and thought that maybe some other magic had worked for him. At least he won this battle. The guy was glad that he was able to defeat the monster himself. Sam said that with such power, he would be able to travel all over the world and live freely. The guy was sure that he had found the way he had to go. Meanwhile, Sam headed to the Adventurers Guild. The joyful guy carried with him 2 carcasses of bears, which he was able to catch in the forest and kill. As soon as Sam wanted to enter the guild, Melia called out to the guy. The girl said he was great today. Sam replied to the girl that there were 3 more bears in the forest, so they could continue in the same spirit. Melia replied that Sam could rely on her. The girl noted that he was not lazy. Sam thanked Melia for everything. He replied that the guild was helping him a lot in this. This surprised Melia, and the girl asked what he was saying. The girl said that he had been killing wild bears every day for a year, so the girl admitted that she should thank him for his work. Sam was surprised by this and said that a whole year had already passed. Melia asked the guy to imagine what it was like for her when she saw an ordinary boy dragging a wild bear along with a maid. At the same time, the guy said that he wanted to join the Adventurers Guild. All the employees were against it. Melia said he was only 9 years old, and he was also the son of a lord. Sam laughed awkwardly and apologized to the girl for making her uncomfortable. Melia replied that at the time she didn't even know what he was capable of. Thanks to him, peace now reigns in this city. Melia told the guy that, okay, today she will work hard to defeat these bears. Sam replied that he hoped for a girl. They decided to split the income, as usual, for him and the orphanage. Melia replied that she understood him. At that moment, a boy ran up to Sam, and he called him Big Brother. The boy thanked Sam for everything, because thanks to him, he can eat well. Sam agreed with the boy and said he was happy for them. The guy thought that at first he was running errands in order to earn money for himself. The forest is dangerous. It is inhabited by wild bears, so the inhabitants cannot eat much meat. Sam decided to distribute it to city residents and orphanages. Thanks to this, Sam's reputation has become unsurpassed compared to what it was a year ago. The guy thought that if only he could become the next head of the family. People were talking about wondering if Lord Mannion would be the next head. He's good with a sword, but definitely not with his character. The guy replied to the interlocutor that they could also be heard. But the second young man replied that he shouldn't sweat it. Everyone thinks so, they just don't talk about it. Sam overheard their conversation and thought that not everyone in town was talking about it, but he had worked hard to become an adventurer. Sam looked up at the sky and said that he still had 5 years left before adulthood. The guy needed to become independent faster. He wants to say goodbye to this house. When Sam came home, he asked Daphne if she was at home. The girl said yes, they could talk. Sam handed the girl a bag and said that it was for her for today. Daphne was very happy about it, and she thanked the guy for everything. Sam replied that she had always been so kind to him. Daphne was pleased to hear that. The girl looked at the bag and said she was wondering what would happen. And now he has become a great adventurer. But Sam didn't believe it and asked the girl if it was true. Daphne replied that yes, of course. He is only 10 years old, but he is already comparable in strength to an adult. Daphne admitted that she would like Mr. Mannion to learn a little from her. Sam laughed nervously in response. At that moment, Derek came up to them and said that he had found him. Sam asked the man what had happened. Derek replied that the owner wanted to see him. This surprised Sam very much. The guy replied that he had ignored him all this time. Derek replied that yes, it was. Sam was a little embarrassed and said that it sounded like something was not very good for him. Derek apologized to the guy and said that he was. Sam was upset and replied that he understood him. The guy needed to properly prepare for this visit. Derek turned to the young master and said that they, as the boy's servants, would always be on his side. Sam was pleased to hear this and thanked Derek and Daphne. The guy came to his father, Carius Reinbach. Sam thought about why he needed him, what had happened to him. Carius looked at the guy seriously and Sam asked his father what had happened. Sam realized that it seemed like he was hearing his voice for the first time. Carius replied that he had changed, no longer looked like the Sam he had known before. Therefore, Carius had to tell his son something. The man said that he would not go into details. Mannion would officially become his successor. Sam and Carius exchanged glances with each other, and the guy replied that he understood everything. His father asked Sam if that was all he would tell him. That was his reaction to the news. The guy replied that yes, he had nothing more to say. Sam wondered what his father expected of him. The old man thought he was going to get upset or cry about it. The guy realized that it was predictable. Carius said he had been invited to a party at the Vicomte de Riedel's in a week's time to welcome his successor. Sam said again that he understood everything. Carius said that he was his eldest son, but he had no talent for swordsmanship, so he would not be the heir. Sam said with a smile on his face that he understood him. But Carius was surprised and asked why he was reacting like that. Sam replied that he was not a worthy member of the Reinbach family, but Melian was a very talented and intelligent son. He is adored by the servants and the townspeople. The guy thought that he didn't want to be his successor. Carius thought about the guy's words and replied that it was true. Sam thought his father was confused. The man said that he had heard that Sam had become an adventurer. Carius asked if that was the case. Sam replied that yes, he was ashamed to admit that he didn't have any talents. The guy said that when he becomes an adult, he will leave home to become an adventurer and not block Mannion's path. So now he is running errands, collecting medicinal herbs. Carius replied that he understood everything. Sam thought that he really wanted the man to stop this conversation. The guy didn't understand why he was trying to talk like a father to his son. Sam said if he wasn't needed anymore, then he could go. Sam really wanted to get out of his father's office. Sam stormed out of the office and the guy wondered if he could stand another 5 years of life with him. It was a nightmare for him. But then Mannion came up to Sam and called him ignorance. The guy asked Sam if he had heard what his father had said. Sam replied that yes, he congratulated him. Now Mannion has become the official heir. Sam wished the guy luck with a smile on his face. But Mannion began to get annoyed, and he asked his brother what had become of him. Sam replied that it was nothing serious. He just congratulates him on becoming the new successor. This angered Mannion, and the guy asked his brother that he was trying to make fun of him. The guy pointed at him and shouted that he was arrogant only because he was supported by the servants. Mannion was very angry with his brother, and Sam thought that he probably wanted to see his reaction. Sam told Mannion that if his brother was done, he would go. Mannion got very angry and shouted at Sam to stop. The guy started shaking with anger and said that he was the next head of the family, so he shouldn't dare to behave like that with him. Mannion shouted that he was being too arrogant. Mannion swung his arm at his brother, and Sam realized it. Sam managed to put out his hand in time to protect himself. Mannion tried to do something, but Sam told his brother that he was accusing him of something, then beating him up. The guy asked what, in his opinion, worthy successors behave like. Mannion shouted at his brother to shut up. Sam was still holding his brother, so Mannion asked her to let go. Sam thought he wasn't strengthening his body. Sam laughed at his brother for being called a sword genius. The guy said it was okay, he would let go. But my brother couldn't stay on his feet and fell to the floor. Mannion was in pain and he screamed. Sam apologized to his brother and asked if he was okay. Mannion just asked the guy not to touch him. Mannion said he didn't need Sam's help. He shouted for his brother to get out of this mansion. The guy said that his father wants to leave him, despite his worthlessness. But he's not that stupid. Mannion asked Sam to get out of there. Sam was embarrassed by this. The guy replied to his brother that he understood, but he was right. Sam decided that he would leave tomorrow. This surprised Mannion a little. Suddenly, Sam said no, he could leave right now. Manjin immediately asked Sam to stop. Sam thought that was right. He didn't have to wait for tomorrow to leave. And how could he not have guessed it right away? Because he could leave right now. But first, Sam decided to talk to Daphne. When the guy told her everything, Daphne categorically replied that no. Sam said that's what he thought. Daphne asked the guy how the owner could do this to him. She will protest. Sam asked the girl not to do this because Mannion said these words, not her father. Daphne chuckled and said he was talking about that asshole. Sam thought that the girl couldn't even call him by his first name. Sam said he didn't want to leave because Mannion told him to. He and Derek know that he doesn't want to stay in this place. Daphne wanted to object to the guy, but Sam said he knew it would be dangerous for him. But he doesn't want to stay in this house for another 5 years. Daphne was very upset by this. Sam said that of course he would miss Daphne and the boys, but he didn't want to live in a place where he was bullied. Sam hugged Daphne tightly and apologized to her. The girl hugged the guy back. Sam gathered all the necessary things and headed for the exit. The guy asked Derek if anyone else knew about it. The man replied that no, he didn't even have to worry about it. Sam said it was great. Daphne turned to the young gentleman and handed him the bento. Sam thanked the girl and said that he would take care of him. Daphne asked the guy if he really didn't need the money. Sam replied that no, he didn't need them. He won't be able to carry them away. The guy asked to use this money for the benefit of the residents of the city. Sam said it was time for him to go. He promised Daphne and Derek that he would write to them. Sam said goodbye to the guys. Derek also said goodbye to the guy and said that they would always be glad to see him. Sam thanked them for everything they had done to him. Sam set off on a journey full of inspiration. He went into the forest and used the map to avoid getting lost. Sam decided that he needed to visit the royal capital first. There will be many guild assignments to be completed there, and maybe even enroll in a magic academy. The only thing that can be connected with other worlds here is the dungeon. Sam wondered if there were dungeons, a hero, and a demon king. He had heard of them too. The guy would like to meet them. Sam thought that he had been living there for a year. This world was not a dream, but a reality. All the people here are real, and he's become Sam, and he's real too. Therefore, the guy really wants to explore this world on his own and with his own eyes. Sam was looking forward to it. Suddenly he heard a strange sound. Sam realized that it was human breathing, but it was quite weak. Sam said he heard it through enhanced perception. There was no doubt about that. The guy realized which side the sound was coming from, and he went in that direction. Sam looked out from behind the bushes and asked who was there. No one answered Sam, so he decided to check the sound source himself. The guy saw that a tired girl was lying near the tree. This surprised the guy very much. Sam fell into a stupor for a second because he did not expect to see a girl in the forest. The guy looked at her carefully and realized that she was not reacting to him. Sam carefully approached the girl and asked her to apologize for bothering her. The girl did not react in any way. Sam thought she was very beautiful. Suddenly, the guy noticed that the girl was starting to come to her senses. The guy exhaled with relief and thought that she was regaining consciousness. Sam held out his hand to the girl and thought that her eyes were so strong, as if there was a fire burning in them. Sam gently stroked the girl's cheek. But then the guy took his thoughts away and thought about what he was doing. Sam started to pat the girl on the shoulder and the guy apologized to her. Sam asked if everything was okay with the girl. The girl began to come to her senses and the guy was very pleased. Sam asked if the girl needed any medical help. In response, the girl grabbed Sam by his shirt and pulled him to her. The girl moved closer to his face, but Sam couldn't figure out what she was doing. The girl whispered in Sam's ear that her stomach was empty. The guy was very surprised by this. Sam took the girl to a small clearing and fed her. The girl was happy and she thanked Sam for giving her food. The girl said that she could not even think that she would faint from hunger. The girl pointed her finger at the dish and said that this meat was especially good. Sam said it was a bento from Daphne. The girl apologized to the guy once again and said that she thought she could cook for herself anywhere. But she's such a fool, she took and forgot the most important thing. Oace. Sam asked the girl how she wanted to cook something for herself if she didn't have any things with her. The girl said that the fact is that she owns the inventory. Sam was shocked by this. The guy thought that such an ability exists. The girl said that this thing is quite rare, so it's normal that he is surprised by this. Sam replied that no, that's not the point. Sam was worried about his bento, and the girl said she hadn't even introduced herself yet. The girl said that her name is Shate. She is a genius magician. Sam was surprised and thought that she seemed to be the kind of person who would praise herself. Sam said his name is Samuel, but can just call him Sam. The girl said that he had a good name and they would get to know each other. When and Sam shook hands, seemed to feel something. The girl called him a boy, but Sam corrected her and told her what his name was. Grabbed the guy by the shoulders and began to pull. Sam was scared of this and asked the girl that something was wrong with him. Approached and the guy told the girl that she was very close. The girl asked the guy to listen to her. Said that he has very exceptional magical abilities, and besides, he has a penchant for unique power. The girl apologized to Sam for looking at it without asking. But the guy is one of them, those talented people she is looking for. Sam asked the girl if she was really telling the truth. Replied that yes, she wouldn't lie to him. Sam thought he hadn't known he could have such a talent. The guy replied that he understood. Suddenly, screamed and said that now she had good news. The girl asked the guy to rejoice because she, the genius wizard Shade, takes him as an apprentice. Sam was slightly embarrassed by this, and was waiting for a response from the guy. Sam hesitantly replied that he was fine. Said it was a great answer. But Sam said no, he didn't agree to it. Asked the guy not to be self-willed. It was fate. The girl added that the path of power stretches before his eyes, and she is the one who will completely light his way. Sam thought about it and replied that he, of course, thinks that her words are similar to the truth. But still, the guy doubted that it was his fate. Sam said that despite this, he still wants to believe her. Therefore, he needs to see the evidence. Was surprised by the guy's response. Sam asked her to demonstrate her strength, and then he would believe that she could become a bonfire that would light up this narrow path for her. Smiled and said it was interesting. The girl said it was the first time the boy had called her some kind of bonfire. Asked the guy to try not to be blinded by her bright light. Sam asked the girl not to tell him afterwards that she couldn't move properly because of overeating. This angered the girl, and she said that now she would show him how quickly she digests meat. Took off and wanted to hit Sam, but the guy jumped back and also prepared to strike. Was looking at it and thought he was moving pretty well. However, this was not enough for The girl touched the tree and used her power. Trunks immediately began to appear from the tree, which headed towards the guy. They grabbed Sam's arms and legs, and he started screaming in fear. Sam was trying to do something to get out of there. But threw the guy away and he crashed right into a tree. Said that Sam does have a tremendous amount of magical energy, but there is no point in it if he does not know how to use it correctly. Asked the guy how he liked it. Could this be considered proof of her magic? Sam thought about it and replied that yes, it is possible. Held out her hand to the guy, and Sam said he was relying on her. Said he could call her teacher. From this day on, he belongs to her. Sam called a teacher and said it was good. Meanwhile, Sam told his whole story to the girl, and said that everything was clear to her. Asked the guy that was why he left home. Sam replied that he was. The guy said he had no regrets. Sam thought he shouldn't talk about rebirth yet. Asked the guy why he didn't use his abilities during their fight. Sam asked the girl in surprise that he didn't have any abilities. Said that it was not surprising that he did not know this because magic power is as rare as abilities. Sam was interested in this and asked the girl what kind of ability he had. Said that apparently his power is called a dissector. This surprised the guy. Said what kind of ability she has. She has no idea. But the girl assumed that she specialized in cutting. Perhaps if Sam picks up a sword, he will become invincible. Sam couldn't believe it. Was surprised and asked the guy why he suddenly started to feel sad. The girl said that there is still no swordsman who does not have the ability. Therefore, if Sam hones this ability, then he can become the best knight in the country. Sam was puzzled. He clenched the grass into a fist from exertion and turned to his teacher. Sam said he didn't know how to use a sword at all. After a while, decided to test the guy's sword skills. The girl said that she didn't really understand much about the sword either. That's why asked Sam to show what he can do. Sam agreed with the girl. Sam has shown that he is completely unable to wield a sword. The guy was trying to catch his breath, and told the guy that it was just a complete failure. His level is so bad that you want to cry. This upset the guy, so decided to support him. The girl said that he should not lose heart. After all, not only a sword is capable of cutting anything. Surprised, Sam asked the girl what she was talking about. Replied that everything was quite simple. He can use magic to dissect something. Sam was surprised by this. He remembered that he had already done this when he defeated the wild beast. Told the guy that using the element he can change its shape and strength. The element of fire, the element of water, all this can be transformed as he pleases. For example, to create a sword shape from fire. The girl added that, of course, he can also use it to strengthen his body and, let's say, use his hand as a sword. In this regard, the magic power has no equal. It is limited only by his imagination. Yor said that he needed to practice magic before that. But first they needed to do something about his sadness and pessimism. Asked the guy if he was going with her. Sam replied that yes, of course. The girl replied that from now on he would be constantly busy. Sam can't stop thinking that this was a really fateful meeting. Told the guy that she promised him that one day he would be able to surpass even her, the great wizard. Sam was glad of such support from the teacher. But told the guy that he would carry his own luggage. This will be his training. Sam was indignant and asked the girl what about her abilities. After a while, Sam began to actively study magic under the guidance of But something didn't work out for the guy, and Sam said was a sadist. She really overdid it this time. It's been 4 years since Sam became student. All this time, the guy had hellish training which still helped to harden him. But despite this, Sam can't say that every day is going great anyway. The guy thought that maybe he shouldn't have reacted so sharply to Mannion's words and left his own house. The guy wondered what his younger brother was doing now. Lately, Sam has been receiving fewer and fewer letters from the servants, so he's starting to worry about it. But still, Sam is quite far from home. The guy thought that after swimming across the sea and being in an eastern island country called the Land of the Sun, they combined training and travel the world at the same time. According to this place is the center of fire magic. Sam thought that everything here was like in Japan. Although she says so, the whole environment reminds him terribly of the Edo period. The guy even heard the familiar music. Sam thought that perhaps its difference from the real Japan is that monsters still appear here, and there are rumors that they look like demons here. At that moment, Sam was looking for and still couldn't find her. Sam couldn't figure out where to do this It was nowhere to be found. The girl was telling the guy that she had one trivial matter, but it was not worth walking alone like that. Suddenly, Sam heard a strange noise, and he wondered what was going on there. This noise was coming from the side of the road, and Sam decided to go there and take a look. The man shouted that he had found her first. He was trying to drive his opponent away from him. The man held the girl tightly by the hand, and the girl herself tried to get out and begged the man to let her go. The man shouted that he would never give her to a freak like him in his life. The second man called his opponent an asshole and asked what he was saying. The man said that he was the one who found her first. The man turned to the girl and asked her to leave this dork, and he invited her to have fun with him. Sam thought at that moment that they were having some shit going on again. He asked if they would be all right. Sam realized that this girl was being molested by men, so he would have to intervene in their showdown. Sam came over and rudely asked the men to listen. The guy said they both didn't make faces. Then they should let the girl go. The man asked Sam who else he was. The man told the guy that Sam had come to this place from other parts. He chased the guy away and said they were busy right now. The other man also told Sam to get out of there. The man said that if he wanted them to shave his head right now and not send him to a monk, then he had better leave right now. Sam asked the men that they hadn't heard him. The guy told the men that he ordered them to get their dirty hands off this girl. The men looked at each other in disbelief. But immediately they screamed loudly, and the man said that this guy was asking to let her go. The men laughed and said that Sam decided to play cool here. Well, now they're doubly playing with him. Sam did not tolerate this, and the guy said that then he would separate them himself. The guy used his strength, and the girl managed to get rid of the hold. The man looked at Sam in disbelief, and the girl was very surprised that the guy helped her. Sam didn't wait long, and he grabbed the girl on his shoulder and ran away from the men. When Sam took the girl to a safe distance, Sam asked the girl if she was okay. "Is she hurt?" The girl nodded, and the guy said that everything seemed to be fine with her. The girl tried to tell the guy at least something, but Sam asked her to step aside, otherwise she would be hurt. Sam asked me to leave it all to him. The girl agreed with the guy. Sam looked at the men and began to wonder what he should do with them. Sam realized that he was able to react to his unexpected blow. The man turned to Sam, calling him an asshole, and asked that he was using magic. Sam thought it looked like things weren't going to be that easy in this battle. The man told the second one that in that case, they would split the reward between the two. The men took out their weapons and headed towards the guy. Sam realized that they were hitting him very quickly. They aimed right at the neck and leg. Sam wondered if they were too synchronized in their movements. The man swung at the guy to hit him. The man struck at the guy, but Sam asked the scroll to turn around. He directed it directly towards the offenders. The man chuckled and attacked the guy again. Sam thought that he didn't have time to cast a spell, but the guy tried to cope. Sam thought he might lose at this rate. The man couldn't stand it and called Sam a baby from the Earthsea. The men shouted to the guy that he had no idea why he had come to them there, but the fact that he could use rare magic did not mean that he would be able to defeat them. The men were very strong and they struck at them without interruptions. Sam decided to concentrate and he thought about what he needed to do first. But at that moment, appeared, who came to the guy's aid. The girl grabbed the men by the heads and slammed them to the ground. Was very serious, and Sam was glad that she had saved him. When had dealt with the men, she looked at the guy who was trying to get to her. The girl told Sam that she understood everything. Asked the guy what it meant that he started a fight, and he blew it to these men. This made the guy very angry. Sam replied to her that he couldn't even think about almost losing to bandits in this area. But was strict, and she told the guy that he shouldn't say the word almost. Because Sam really lost. The guy was very upset about it. Realized that she had to support the guy. The girl told him not to be so depressed. Because sometimes stuffed cones are the best teacher. Told the guy that she, in turn, was obliged to teach him all the techniques as soon as possible. But Sam didn't understand why the girl had to do it. Apologized to the guy for leaving him alone in this place. It was entirely her fault. Sam asked the girl what had happened to her. Maybe she ate something wrong or she's sick. But for that, called the guy a jerk and gave him a crack. Sam was in a lot of pain and ran away from screaming. Sam asked the girl if it was okay for her to flick a guy and enhance him with magic. But asked the guy not to worry about it because she still held back. The girl said that Sam should be able to admit his mistakes himself. Put her hand to the guy's forehead and said that she had taught him that it was possible to help people who were in trouble. Sam also apologized to the girl and reminded her that she had told him to just wait and not meet her anywhere, and he had made such a mess here. Took the guy by the shoulders and asked him not to take it into his head. Smiled and said she wasn't mad at the guy anymore. After all, the most important thing is that everything is fine with him. Sam thought about the girl's words, but then he remembered something. Sam asked the girl what duty she was talking about. Replied that she needed him to learn magic faster, so she brought him there. There is a temple of fire in this place. Knows the theory, but Sam needs to see the full picture of what kind of magicians there are. Sam replied that it was unlikely that there would be those who would be stronger than the girl. Replied that most magicians do not like hand-to-hand combat, preferring to fight at long range using water magic. It's a kind of wizard etiquette. Also said that they differ in that they are able to use magic even in hand-to-hand combat. Sam replied that those villains were pretty strong in close combat. The guy asked if it had anything to do with it. Replied that yes. It would have been better if the girl had told him about it in advance, but she could not imagine that Sam would fight another person so soon. And those losers were very low level. Sam was shocked by this. Said that people say that there are so-called wizard killers in the world. It's not that they are any kind of professionals who have been specially trained, but in battle they are able to compete with wizards. That's why they were called that. Sam thought about it and said that he felt it then too. The guy asked if he understood correctly that they didn't use any magic at all in battle. Replied that this was true. The girl said that in this country there are such warriors who are called samurai. It was with them that he fought then. Samurai have been learning their skills for a long time, honing them every day. They are quite dangerous in close combat. Sam remembered the battle and thought that it was true. Their movements were instantaneous. They clearly didn't use any magic. Sam thought they were the problem guys. The guy told that he thought he was starting to understand where everything was going. Agreed with the guy. The girl said that he would have combat training with the samurai. Sam got angry and said he knew it. The guy started telling the girl that she had completely lost her mind. They'll just grind him the powder, or ask the guy how else he would study. The girl asked Sam not to worry about this. He would just have a training match. Sam asked the girl that she had already found someone to spar with. Replied that yes, of course. The girl added that he had to listen to her first. Has to tell the guy something. Sam asked if something was wrong with her. Sam looked at the girl and thought it was the first time he had seen her so serious. The guy was sure it was a damn important case. Was very excited, and she couldn't tell the guy about the problem right away. The girl tuned in and informed him that they had no money. Sam was shocked by this, and he looked at the girl questioningly. Sam asked that they didn't have any money at all. What can they live on now? Asked the guy not to whine because she has a plan for such a case. The girl called his grandiose plan on how to make money from training battles. Meanwhile, the guys started training. At some point, Sam fell down and told her that he was completely exhausted. The girl replied to the guy that she was not surprised at all. The guy started to get nervous and he told that he had been fighting almost all day. Sam was glad that they had at least managed to save money. Asked the guy to stop grumbling at her already. The girl asked if it wasn't great that he was used to fighting samurai. Sam replied that it was good, of course, but still. Shortly before that, told the guy about her grand plan. The girl said that she herself was shocked by what a gorgeous name she had come up with for him. But Sam was very surprised, and he asked the girl that she was talking about it seriously now. Replied that of course it was serious. It's brilliant. Sam will study, and at the same time they will earn some money. But Sam asked the girl to stop talking about it, because the guy didn't believe the girl at all. She can't be that crazy. Sam asked the girl why there were such drastic measures. They also had the money that the old pervert at the casino gave them, so they can use them. But replied that it was so long ago that she no longer remembers, and since it was a long time ago, they have been gone for a long time. Sam was indignant and asked that she had said that they would use them only for a rainy day. Replied that he had been gone for a long time. Sam was angry and told the girl that giving his money to her, the teacher, was the biggest mistake. Was also angry, and she asked the guy that he was looking for a conflict. The girl said that besides, it was all for Sam's sake. The girl asked who was to blame for the fact that he still had not learned to fly. Sam replied to the girl that it was a crime to fly into the country illegally, and he can fly, just for a short time. Sam decided to calm down and not quarrel with her. The guy asked the girl what she was up to. Replied that it was a wise decision which was to be expected from her student. Sam replied that he would not say that he was glad of her words. Told the guy that he would fight the same bandits who had been there recently, and it is desirable that these be samurai. Then they can arrange a training tournament. The girl said that if they beat him, they would receive prize money, and if not, they will pay for the loss. The girl asked Sam what he would say about this. Sam asked the girl what she thought he could handle it. Replied that yes, of course, 100% that he will come across opponents who will underestimate the child in front of them. Sam thought had just called him a baby. The girl said that besides, it would be nice if he sometimes lost. Hugged the guy and said that if he loses, then her exit will come. And if they can't beat her, they'll pay double. Sam asked the girl that she was like the devil. Sam thought it over and said that he understood everything. He agreed to it. The guy thought that in the end, everything went very well. Thanks to this, Sam was able to understand how they fight, and in doing so, he earned money. Sam said it was good that everything ended well. At that moment, an unknown guy approached Sam and asked if he could bother him for 1 minute. Sam turned around and asked the guy that he wanted something from him, or maybe he wanted to challenge him to a duel. Sam thought there was something wrong with this guy. Suddenly, the guy fell to his knees in front of Sam. Sam was scared of this and told the guy that if he wanted to fight him in a duel, then he was already too late. Sam thought about the fact that he had no doubt that it was Dojiza. The guy bowed down in front of Sam and said that his name was Unsei Tadamachi, and he saw his strength firsthand, and therefore the guy asked Sam for a favor. Unsei asked Sam to borrow his power. Sam asked the guy to get off the ground. The guys looked into each other's eyes. Sam told Unsei that a true samurai should not get down on his knees to beg for help from another. Sam told the guy that he would definitely listen to his problem. The guys went to a place where Unsei told him everything. Sam asked the guy that he had only told them that the daughter of the clan head was missing. Unsei replied that yes, he served the head of the Shion clan, and it was his fault that Fumi ran away from home. Unsei also said that Fumi had been growing up in extreme strictness all this time, so she practically did not leave the house. And he himself had not seen her expression for a long time. Sam asked the guy that he used to see her a lot. Unsei replied that yes. The guy confessed that Fumi was his childhood friend, and despite the fact that they were from different backgrounds, they often played in the garden of her estate. However, one day, they practically stopped seeing her, and it so happened that the only way Unsei could talk to the girl was through a screen. Unsei said that even so, it was sad enough for him. Sam and her looked at the guy carefully and listened to his story. Sam said that in short, Unsei just likes this girl named Fumi. Unsei was shocked. The guy told Sam that this is such nonsense. He asked the guy how he could tell him that. For the daughter of the head himself to fall in love with a man of a low class, this will never happen. But still, Sam asked the guy what he liked about Fumi. Unsei was embarrassed and replied that he would not deny it. Sam laughed and said the guy was blushing. Said they should put aside their love problems for now. The girl thought about it and asked the guy that she was under strict guardianship and therefore decided to run away from home. Unsei replied to her that yes, that's right. Asked the guy that he also says that for a long time you don't know what she might look like. Unsei replied that he had thought of asking them, the strangers, to use long-range vision magic. Unsei turned to Sam and said that he had seen him use flight magic during a training battle. Sam replied that he had taken advantage of her a little. Unsei said that at that time he thought that maybe they would fly up into the sky and look at everything on the ground from high up. Sam replied to the guy that it was easier said than done. Unsei replied that he really did not know what she might look like already, but in this city, she would definitely be conspicuous because of her clothes. The guy said that she was wearing a purple kimono and her face was hidden under a headscarf. The color of the kimono was unique, and there are no more such in the city. And Sam exchanged glances with each other and understood everything. Sam asked Unsei if the kimono had a flower pattern by any chance, and she may also have slightly reddish eyes. Unsei was very happy and asked Sam what he had actually seen of Fumi. Sam replied that they had met her on the road this morning. She looked like she was lost. The guy thought he wouldn't tell him what really happened. Sam said they were calling her, but she didn't turn around and just ran away. Unsei started to get nervous and he asked where Fumi had gone. Sam apologized to the guy and said that if they only knew, they would definitely help. But the guys promised to help Unsei anyway. Unsei replied that he would owe them his life after that. At that moment, a man appeared behind Unsei who fell in front of the guys. Unsei immediately realized that it was the deputy commander-in-chief. The guy immediately ran up to the man to help him. Asked Unsei to take a look at what was wrong with him. Sam asked the guy if he knew who it was. Unsei replied that, yes, they were the ones who were sent to find Fumi. Unsei was very worried about the deputy commander-in-chief and wondered what had happened to him. Where did he get all these wounds from? While was treating the man, he asked Unsei if it was him. The man told the guy that Fumi had been kidnapped by demons. The guy was shocked by this. Sam said that he had heard that demons had started appearing near the city recently. Unsei asked the guy that he had heard about it too. The man raised his hand and said that he was a real young red demon, and he was on the edge of town. Awar asked the man why he came to their town. They're not supposed to come down from the mountains. Sam turned to his teacher and asked if she knew anything about it. The girl replied that yes. Said that a long time ago she had already fought with such a thing, but it was not an easy fight. The man said that there is a lair of their leader in the mountains. He usually does not go outside. Suddenly, the man felt worse, and said that it was better for him to be silent now. Told the guys that he needed medical help first. She has a doctor friend here, so she will take the man to him. Told the guys to run after the demon. Sam asked the girl how she was. Replied that she knew where the red young demon's lair was. And besides, even if she gets lost, she can see everything from the sky. Promised the guys that she would catch up with them. The girl asked Sam to go with Unsei. Sam replied that he understood his teacher. Sam asked Unsei if he could show the way to the lair. The guy replied to Sam that yes, he could rely on him, and the guys immediately ran to look for a den. The guys ran very fast using their abilities. Sam was very surprised that Unsei could run so fast and thought that they were probably all masters here. The guy was wondering how fast the strongest of them was. Unsei turned to Sam and said that he was asking for forgiveness for getting him into this trouble. Sam asked the guy what he was talking about right now. He was already involved in this initially, and he couldn't just turn a blind eye to the situation. Sam said that besides, he was taught to always help those who are in trouble. Unsei replied that he had an excellent teacher. Suddenly, Unsei turned to Sam and said that there were demons ahead of them. Sam said they'd gut them right now. The guys immediately attacked the demons. When the guys destroyed them, they looked at each other. Unsei told the guy that he had done a great job with them. Sam replied that he was ready to tell him the same thing. Unsei said it was natural. After all, he is, the son of the current head of the Unsei school. The guy said that in this area it is a very well-known type of fencing. It is almost on a par with the style of Amiimiya. And so Unsei said that they had finally arrived. There was a den in front of the guys, and Sam asked the guy if they were going inside. Unsei replied that of course they would attack head-on. Sam looked at the guy for a second and said that yes, he also wanted to save her as soon as possible. Sam prepared for the battle and told the guys that they could start. When the guys entered the lair, Sam used his abilities to light their way. Unsei told the guy that he didn't like this silence, but they could go even further. The guys began to look around, and then Unsei turned to Sam. The guy said that there was something wrong on the other side. The guys headed in that direction to check who was there. They went out into a large lighted throne room. There was a demon sitting on the throne right in front of them. The demon turned to the uninvited guests, and he asked the guys why they were there. They're human. Sam and Unsei were very serious, and Sam thought that he began to put a lot of pressure on them from the threshold. Unsei told the demon that they had come to him to bring back Fumi. The demon immediately understood what these guys were talking about. The demon grinned and asked the guys what they were saying about this girl. At that moment, a girl in a kimono with flowers appeared behind the demon. Unsei immediately recognized his girlfriend and he started shouting at her. Sam looked at the girl and thought that it really was her. Unsei turned to the young red demon and asked him why he had kidnapped the girl. The demon replied to the guy that he had his own reasons for this act. Ushei asked the demon to share these reasons with them. The demon frowned and asked the guy if something was wrong. Suddenly, everything began to change around the guys. The demon became even more sinister, and Sam thought that no, they definitely would not be able to defeat him. But still, Sam decided to try to talk to him. The guy asked the demon to answer their question. Sam asked the demon if he had taken the Lord's daughter hostage just to demand a ransom for her. It was very petty of him. The demon chuckled slightly at the guy's thoughts. The demon couldn't hold back his laughter any longer, and he immediately laughed all over the throne room. The demon asked the guys that they wanted him to die laughing. After all, ignorance is a terrible thing. The demon stretched out his hand to the girl, and he asked the guys what they wanted to know from him, why he did it. The demon hugged the girl tightly and said that he did it because she was his granddaughter. Unsei was shocked by what he heard. He asked the demon what he meant. Unsei tensed up a lot, and the guy told the demon not to dare lie to him. The guy called the demon a monster and asked if he had any evidence. The demon replied that yes, the evidence was right in front of him. The demon, with a sharp movement of his hand, brushed the kimono off the girl's head and asked the guys to admire her true face. Unsei saw what the problem was, and he immediately tensed up a lot. There were horns on the girl's head. Fumi was very confused by everything that was going on there, so she asked the guys not to look at her. The demon turned to Unsei and asked what he was saying. He was a monster. In that case, this girl is like that too. The demon said that she was the daughter of his child who was married to the head of the Shion clan. Suddenly, the demon began to get very angry, and he told the guys that despite this, they, the people, took and killed his daughter. The demon said that this was what their blind love for people had led to. But even so, she was his favorite, which is why the demon believes that he has the right to take his beloved granddaughter. Suddenly, Fumi turned to Tadamichi and said that she was very glad that he had come for her. But she was fine now. There were tears in the girl's eyes, and she told Unsei that he could leave. The demon laughed at the guys, and he asked Unsei what his problem was. He's gone so quiet. Unsei was in shock, and he couldn't answer him. The demon asked the guy that after he found out that he had been serving a girl who was half human all this time, he now has no words. Sam was getting angry too, but he was waiting for Unsei to say something. The guy couldn't contain his emotions, and he shouted that it was fine. He was glad that she was a demon girl, so the demon could do whatever he wanted. The guy had a lot of emotions, and he thought it was even better that way. Unsei said that Fumi is very suited to the horns of a demon. She's become even more attractive. This suddenly made the guy even more turned on. Sam looked at the guy awkwardly and did not understand what had happened to him. Fumi also did not hide her shame at Unsei's behavior. Suddenly, two guys approached the demon from both sides. One of them said that he couldn't understand people's thoughts at all. The demon said he wasn't interested in these guys anymore. So he turned to Uki and Saki and asked them to take care of these guys. Sam turned to Unsei and asked the guy if he was ready or not. Unsei replied that of course he was literally trembling with desire, so Sam didn't have to worry about it. Suddenly, the demon servants took off and headed toward Sam and Unsei. Sam shouted that they were being attacked. The guys struck the first blow towards Sam, but he was able to dodge. Sam started to use his magic, and he directed it towards the guys. Unsei took out a sword and also struck at one of the guys. Unsei continued to fight the guy with a sword. After that, the guys split up. One went to Sam, and the other to Unsei. Sam used his magic power towards the guy and enveloped him in fire. Unsei shouted to Sam that he was on the verge. But the guy replied that he could only slightly hurt him, so he asked Unsei not to show off. Sam wrapped them in fire and said he hoped it would be enough for them. But the guys were still able to rise from the fire and attack Sam. One of them stabbed Sam with his hand and was happy about it. But then Sam started disappearing and the guy thought it was an illusion. At that moment, Unsei rushed towards him, who applied his vulture style. Unsei was able to deliver 2 killer blows to the guys. The guys finished and Unsei put away his sword. Sam laughed and told the guys that they had asked for it. Sam asked that because they only have one seeing eye, it's hard for them to see everything in the 3-dimensional world, isn't it? They took advantage of this. Sam asked Unsei what they would do with the demon. Suddenly, the guys heard a strange sound from the depths of the lair and tensed up. The guys realized that this was Ur's move. Sam told the girl that she was very long. Ur sarcastically apologized to the guy for being late. Sam said that now they definitely don't have to worry about anything. The demon asked the guys what was wrong with them. The demon started crying as soon as he saw the girl. After a while, the demon was tied up, and he was sitting next to the guys. Sam told that he didn't understand what was going on. The girl replied that she had said at the time that she had taught him morality lessons a long time ago. Suddenly, Fumi abruptly hugged Sam and said that he was a fateful person for her. The girl said that she would like to thank him from the bottom of her heart for saving her then. Sam pushed Fumi away and said that it was just an accident and not fate at all. So he asked the girl to step away from him. Unsei told Fumi that it was indecent towards Sam. Fumi noticed the guy and told Unsei that he had been here. The guy replied that he had just untied her. The girl replied to the guy that he was boring. Always a scowling, big-headed jerk. Unsei asked the girl where she got so many inappropriate words from. Turned to Sam and said he was holding up great. The girl patted the guy on the head and said that she could be proud of him. Turned to Unsei and Fumi and said that in order to prevent the red young demon from doing firewood, she signed a magical contract with him. So everything will be fine now. Said that he is Fumi's grandfather. It's really true, and there's no way to change that. Besides, it will be quite difficult to live hiding your horns all the time. Fumi replied that yes, she understood all this perfectly. Fumi knows that she was born with this sin, and she is ready to carry this burden all her life. But said she was wrong about that. Said it was a curse that was inherited from the ancestors. However, the main thing is what she will do next. Sin is not something that God brings upon them, it is brought upon people. We're asked Fumi to go the right way in this world, like a man with horns. Only she, the child of a human and a demon, can do this. After a while, Unsei turned to Sam. Sam asked the guy that he had come to see them off. Unsei replied that no, he was the one who should thank them. Unsei held out his hand and thanked the guy again. Sam replied that no problem, they could still see each other somewhere. Suddenly, Unsei said that he hoped that everything would be fine with her. Sam was very outraged by this. So Sam and hit the road. The guy thought that they didn't have that kind of relationship. While the guy was thinking, he saw that abruptly fell to the floor. After a while, Sam sat next to the girl's bed and guarded her. When woke up, she turned to Sam. The guy was very glad that the girl woke up. Said she fainted after all. Sam was very upset and noticed it. She asked the guy not to make that face. It's all right now. It's a common thing. Got back into bed and apologized to the guy. The girl asked Sam if he would give her some more rest. Sam replied that yes, of course. Sam thought maybe she was sick. But in these 4 years, nothing like this has ever happened to her. Sam suggested that he might not have noticed it himself. Sam sat on a chair for a long time and waited for Ur to wake up and gain strength after resting. When the girl woke up, she turned back to Sam. The guy asked her how she was feeling. The girl replied that it wasn't bad to start with. Sam got up and said he would go and get a doctor. But the girl stopped the guy and replied that no, he shouldn't call him. Sam wanted to object to the girl, but Ur said that she would like him to hear something. Said that the fact is that she doesn't have much time left. Sam asked the girl what she was talking about. The guy asked the girl not to say that. Sam asked how come, where did that eternally optimistic go? Held out her hand to the guy and they took each other's hands. Asked the guy to calm down and listen to her to the end. The girl said that the fact is that she is stricken with an incurable disease. This surprised the guy very much. The reason for this and the methods of treatment were not known to anyone. This disease only affects people with a high level of magical power. This is a very rare disease. Sam told the girl that everything had been fine with her for 4 years. Asked the guy for forgiveness for hiding it from him. The girl said it was a miracle that she had been in good health all these years. Shared that when she was informed of her illness, she did not even spend a year with her family. She gave up everything that was connected with her. And without saying a word to her family, she went on a trip. She had to leave behind all the evidence of her existence. But then met Sam, and she thinks it was definitely fate. Sam asked the girl that she really thinks that this disease is incurable. It's been 4 years already. Surely something can be done. Replied that it was not worth it. The girl said that the fact that the fire of her life lasted for 4 whole years was enough. Squeezed the blanket and said that maybe it was all for the sake of meeting Sam. The guy started to get nervous, and he asked the girl to stop. Sam asked the girl not to talk as if this was the end. After all, the guy thought that their further journey would begin from this moment, and they will be together all the time. Sam believed that they were never destined to part again. Sam admitted to himself that he hadn't even really thought about yet. Sam admitted that the girl had a very strong character, self-confidence and arrogance. And the girl has a beautiful smile. Sam realized that he loved it all very much. Asked Sam that he was already an adult, wasn't he? So she asked the guy not to cry about it. The girl admitted that she did not want him to worry about her because she would live inside his heart. Apologized to the guy and said that this was the only way she could comfort him. The girl shared that she had the last thing she wanted to do. The girl wanted to give the guy all of her. Sam replied that, if possible, he would also like to inherit everything. He replied to the guy that he did not understand her. The girl wants him to literally take all of her. The life she created, her most recent inheritance magic. Sam was very surprised by this. Said that her magical powers, skills, and knowledge, as well as abilities, would all be inherited by Sam in exchange for her life. Sam asked the girl if such a thing could be possible. Asked the guy that hadn't she told him when they first met that she was the greatest wizard. Nothing is impossible for her. Sam immediately remembered their first meeting and thought that yes, she had told him about it. Was the one who lit up his path. That is why he began to follow her on this difficult path for the bright radiance of the girl. Held out her hand to the guy and asked him not to tell her that he didn't want it. Sam thought about it and replied that, as if he could say that to her. The guys joined hands, and Sam said that the only one who could accept her was himself. Suddenly, everything around the guy changed, and told Sam that she would give him all of herself. There was a powerful flash, and Sam felt that it was so warm there, as if he was merging with into one. And so everything returned to how it was before. But the guys continued to hold each other's hands. Was glad, and she said that was it. Said that in order to use all this, the guy will have to train a lot. But the girl thought that it would not be a problem for him. Sam still couldn't get over it and stop crying. Sam squeezed hand tighter and thought about what he should say. He still has something left to say. Sam had just turned to the girl and he wanted to tell her something when interrupted him. The girl asked to be allowed to say something else. Told the guy that this might be their last conversation. Confessed to the guy that she loves him. She loves him as a teacher, as a family member, and just as a girl. Loves Sam with all his heart. Sam decided that he would also confess his feelings to the girl. The guy said he loved her too. Sam was smiling, but tears were streaming from his eyes. This conversation was very difficult for him. Smiled slightly at the guy and said that she knew about it. The girl admitted that she was just afraid to tell him about it personally and admit her feelings. Benner thought that it was unlikely that a girl who could die soon would suit him. Smiled and said that if she could only have known that breaking up with a man would be so hard for her, then she would have told Sam about it much earlier. Sam was very upset and thought it was so unfair. Finally, asked the guy to live for both of them and be happy. The girl asked Sam to love someone else, to cultivate love, and with it a big family. Sam replied to the girl that he would never meet such great wizards again in his life. Replied to the guy that no, it's not true. She could guarantee that to the guy. Sam was still very upset about it. The guy thought about it and told that it was good, he would be happy for her sake. For the sake of both of them, he would do it. Apologized to the guy and said that something was making her sleepy. The girl once again asked the guy to listen to her. Asked Sam if he could kiss her one last time. Sam went into a stupor for a second, but still he gained strength and said that yes, he could do it. The guy reached for the girl's lips. Sam kissed very gently and tenderly. The girl liked the kiss, and she confessed to the guy that it was her first kiss. Sam replied to the girl that he had never kissed before either. There was silence in the room for a couple of seconds. Sam couldn't stop crying. It was very hard for him. Turned to the guy and wished him a good night. The next day, Sam took lifeless body in his arms and went to the girl's home. The guy saw everything around and he was very surprised when he saw the house where grew up. When Sam wished good night to the girl, the guy took out a letter from his vault. Sam saw that the letter was addressed to him. The guy realized that it looked like a will. When Sam opened the letter, the guy suddenly realized that he knew absolutely nothing about her. He didn't know her full name or that she was sick. Not that she was the court sorceress of the Kingdom of Sky. Not that she was the eldest daughter of the Walker County family. And Sam also didn't know about her feelings for him. Sam started to lift the girl out of bed. And the guy said it would have been better if he had asked about it earlier. But still, the guy decided that he would do her errand no matter what. Sam decided to take body to her family. The guy looked around and said that there was one solid luxury. He didn't even know who he could turn to for help. Suddenly, a guard called out to Sam and asked him to come up to him. The guard said that this was the estate of the Earl of the Walker family. The man asked Sam who he was and why he was there. Sam replied to the guard that his name was Samuel Shate. He is a student of Reich Shate Walker. The guy told the guard that he had come to them in order to personally meet with the Earl of Walker Manor. The guard was very surprised by the guy's statement. The man told Sam that he was talking complete nonsense, because the lady ran away from this estate 5 years ago and she has been missing ever since. Sam replied to the man that he had been with her all this time. The guy regretfully informed the guard that had died the other day. The guard did not believe the words of the unknown guy. He went up to Sam and asked the guy what he was talking about. The man asked Sam to stop talking nonsense. Suddenly, the guard opened the veil that covered the girl's face and his hands immediately began to shake. The guard said that this simply could not be. The man realized that it was definitely Ulrike. The guard brought everything to the Count, and therefore he began to wait for the guy for a personal reception. When Sam came into the room, he thought that these two were parents. The Count bowed his head in front of the guy and told Mr. Samuel that he expressed their gratitude to him for bringing their daughter's body and her dying will to them. Sam replied to the Count that he should not bow. For her student, this was the order of the day. The Count told the guy that despite this, he couldn't help but thank him. The Count apologized to the guy and said that he had forgotten to introduce himself and was doing it so late. The man said his name was Johnson Walker and he was the owner of this estate. Johnson also said that this is his wife and her name is Grace Walker. Grace turned to the guy and said it was nice to meet him. Sam replied that he was also pleased to meet parents. The guy also introduced himself to Grace and Johnson. The guy told parents that they could just call him by his first name, Sam. Johnson replied that he had read her letter. The man assumed that Sam had inherited her magic and essence. The man said that apparently he was a very dear person to Sam thought about it and replied that if that was really the case, then he was happy to hear it. Johnson said that who would have thought that this rebel would get such a disease? He never imagined that she could even get herself a student and raise him. The man admitted that as a parent of he feels only contempt for himself. But Sam replied that they shouldn't do that. The guy said that he had been with her for 5 whole years, and during that time, he did not even notice that she was suffering from an illness and would soon die. Sam admitted that he blames himself for not being able to find out about her illness earlier and help in some way. Johnson replied to the guy that he shouldn't blame himself for that. The man said that on the contrary, he deserves all the thanks, because now they will be able to bury their daughter. Johnson thought about it and said that it looked like their daughter really loved the guy. Sam smiled slightly and said that yes, he loved her very much too. He loved his teacher. The guy admitted that, to his deepest regret, he could not tell her about it in person. He did such an act only at the end of her journey. It might be very cheeky of him, but he thought of as his family. Johnson was surprised by this guy's words, and he looked at his wife. They understood each other. Johnson reached out to Sam and said they would like to hear as much as possible about their daughter. Sam gladly agreed to tell them about Sam shared the brightest and most important events in all these 5 years spent with The parents listened to the guy with interest and imagined how their daughter spent her time. Gray listened to the guy and said that now she understood everything. She understood how their daughter lived. Sam said that she was really a fun teacher for the guy. Johnson turned to the guy and asked him what he planned to do next. The man asked the guy to share his plans. Sam told them that he would like to stay in the royal capital for a while now. He still had unfinished business there. The man asked the guy what business he was talking about. Sam replied that he had to surpass his teacher and become the greatest wizard. Johnson and Grace were very surprised by this. The man told the guy that this was a very ambitious goal. He asked Sam if he thought this goal would be difficult for the guy. Sam thought about it and said he couldn't argue with it. To begin with, he still aspires to become the court wizard of this country. Grace told the guy that also aspired to become him. This means that Sam's goals coincide with their daughter's goals. Sam replied that yes, but it would only be a passing grade because he aspires to become the greatest wizard in the whole world. Johnson supported the guy and said that it was a great goal and he did well to strive for the highest. Grace asked the guy that, in that case, why wouldn't he make the royal capital his stronghold? If he wants to, he can live on their estate. Grace said that the fact was that in the letter she wrote that they should take care of Sam, so the woman asked to be allowed to at least thank him that way. Sam wanted to slightly object to them, because it was not very convenient for the guy to agree to such a thing. But Johnson asked the guy not to worry about it. The man said that if he didn't mind, they could come up with something. For example, Jones invited the guy to become the wizard of their country. Sam was very surprised and a little scared. The guy asked if they were sure about it. Johnson replied that yes, of course they are sure. The man said they also have their daughter's seal, and it would be a shame if another house took the guy in. Grace told Sam that fortunately for them, they are a family with a great lineage of wizards, so they will be able to help him with this. The woman added that in addition, they also have the title of Count, and her husband serves as the deputy commander of the detachment in the 1st Magic Army. Grace thought about it and said that she thought it would be a great foothold for the guy. Still, Sam was very surprised by parents' suggestion. He asked them why they would do such a thing for him. Grace and Johnson exchanged glances with each other because they knew the answer to this question. The man replied to the guy that since this was her daughter's last request, they would like to fulfill at least her. Sam let out a sigh of relief and thought that after all, they really are parents. Sam bowed down to the girl's parents and said that in this case, he relies on them. Johnson and Grace were pleased to hear that Sam agreed to their proposal. Johnson told the guy that since they had decided everything with each other, he wanted to introduce his other daughters to him because from now on, he would live with them. The man called the maid to him and asked to invite the girls. Sam was delighted and thought that now he would see younger sisters. The guy was very interested in what they were like in life. And so the girls came into the hall and they asked for forgiveness for the trouble. Johnson turned to Mr. Sam and asked the guy to let him introduce his daughters. The man said that it was the pride of their family. Johnson introduced the girls and said that the second daughter's name was Lizaroth. The girl turned to Sam and said that she was pleased to meet him. She told the guy that he could just call her Lisa. Lisa thanked Sam from the bottom of her heart for taking care of their older sister. Johnson then introduced a third daughter. Her name was Alicia. The girl was very modest, and she stuttered and told Sam that it was nice to meet him. Lisa turned to Sam and said that she was a little at odds with the guys, so she immediately decided to ask the guy for forgiveness for this. Sam was also a little embarrassed and told the girl that she shouldn't worry about it. Sam confessed to the girls that he was very pleased to meet them. Alicia blushed and replied to Sam that she was also glad to meet the guy. Johnson said he was finally ready to introduce his third daughter. Her name was Erica. But it was clear from the girl's face that she was not happy to meet the guy and did not really want to see him. Johnson understood that she was not hospitable to Sam, so he wanted to tell her about it. Erica, in response to her father's claim, said that yes, she is Erica. Suddenly, the girl pointed her finger at Sam and asked the guy that he was the very successor of her sister. The girl asked the guy to know that she would never recognize him. The girl's gaze was very angry, and she looked at the guy with contempt. Johnson decided to defuse the situation and told Sam that his daughter Erica was only 1 year older than the guy. But since they both have magic, the man was sure that they would be able to find a common language. This angered Erica very much, and she asked the man what he meant by the relationship between her and this guy. Johnson again asked Erica to talk more calmly because it was their dear guest. The man urged the girl to be more polite to Sam, but Erica shouted that no matter what, she would never recognize this stranger. Sam was very upset by this conversation. The guy was very embarrassed. Lisa came up to Sam and apologized to the guy for her sister's bad behavior. The girl said that she admired her older sister very much in their family. Lisa suggested that the guy cheer up a little after an unpleasant conversation, and the girl wanted to show Sam his room. The guy replied that yes, he would be glad. Lisa gave the guy a little tour of the house, and then she brought Sam to his new bedroom and showed him everything. The girl said that if he suddenly needed a bath or something like that, he could just call the servants, and then they would help him with this. Sam thanked the girl for her help. Lisa told the guy that he didn't have to thank her for anything anymore. After all, they have now become a family. The girl asked Sam that he had forgotten about it. The guy was a little perplexed because he wasn't used to it yet. Lizzie asked the guy that he was probably tired today, wasn't he? The girl did not wait for a response from the guy and suggested that he rest properly. Sam said goodbye to the girl, but his condition was still bad. The guy put out the candle and went to bed while constantly thinking about The girl still couldn't get out of the guy's head. The next day, Sam sat on the couch and thought about his problems. He was thinking about his life and what he should do next. The guy said that during this whole week he had tried out various abilities inherited from The guy realized that he couldn't even use half of all his abilities. The guy admitted that she was really an amazing magician after all. Suddenly, Sam heard someone knocking on his door. It was Lisa who asked Sam if she could come into his room. Sam replied that yes, she could come in. The girl said that she would like to ask the guy if he is free now. Sam replied that yes, of course he was free. The guy asked Lisa if something had happened to them. The girl replied that the fact was that her sister had asked for something in the letter. Sam looked at the girl questioningly. Lisa told the guy that from now on she would become his teacher. Lisa said that from that day on she would hammer her martial art into him properly. Sam was shocked, and the guy thought that this was really the Walker family style of hospitality. The guys went outside and Lisa started to warm up. Sam looked at the girl and he thought about how it could have come to this. Now, Ear's sister has become his teacher. Lisa told Sam that she had heard he was pretty good at martial arts. Sam replied with a smile on his face that yes, sir was constantly hammering into him all the basics she knew. Lisa laughed and said that apparently she was very nice to him. Lisa stiffened slightly and she confessed to the guy that she was a little worried. Sam asked the girl what she was worried about. Lisa replied to the guy that her sister's magic was amazing, but martial arts are completely different. If you do not take into account magical abilities, then the girl is very strong in battle. Lisa added that her sister wrote in a letter that Sam is predisposed to use magic in battle, so the girl should drum into the guy all her knowledge of the martial art. Lisa said that otherwise he would not be able to surpass her. Sam understood what the girl was talking about and it was very important to him. Lisa told the guy that he could use body enhancement magic. The girl asked the guy to get ready because they are starting. Sam showed the girl that he was confident, but still the guy thought about whether he could definitely use the boost. Sam was a little worried about using her against anyone other than Meanwhile, Lee's prepared for the attack. Suddenly, the girl struck a serious blow at the guy, and Sam fell to the ground. Sam was in a lot of pain because he hit his head. Lisa told Sam that he had too many unprotected places, so he should be careful. Sam thought that it must have been a joke. The guy got up from the ground and thought that she was too fast. The guy couldn't even really see her. Lisa told Sam that she could see that he could still stand on his feet. In that case, she offered to do it again. Sam tried to get to the girl in time so that she wouldn't do it, but Lisa was already too close. The girl tried to hit the guy, but Sam managed to dodge. The girl started throwing endless punches at the guy, but Sam barely managed to dodge them. The guy did not have time to strike back at the girl. Sam tried to somehow defend himself from the girl's blows, but she was too confident in herself. At some point, Lisa was stabbed right in Sam's stomach, but he managed to put his hands in front of him. Lisa was very fast and confident in her actions. Sam was screaming in pain and trying to persuade the girl to stop and not hit him so fast. In the end, Lisa tripped the guy up. Because of this, he flew away and landed hard on the ground. Sam hit his head hard on the ground again, and it made him angry. Lisa approached the guy and said that his eyes could barely keep up with her actions, so his body could not react quickly to her blows. Sam was trying to come to his senses and catch his breath a little, and the guy wondered if it was even possible to follow her. Lisa told the guy that he has a sharp eye, but he still has a lot to learn. The girl said that she thinks that next time she will not be as gentle with him as she is now. Sam thought that was what she called gentleness. Sam told Lisa that she was very strong. The girl laughed and thanked the guy for such a compliment. Lisa was told that she was, after all, a disciple of the holy swordsman. Sam asked the girl who exactly she was talking about. Lisa asked the guy that he didn't know about it. This title is given to the strongest swordsman in the country. This surprised the guy very much. Sam said it turns out she's a student of the strongest. The guy admitted that it was perfectly visible from the girl. Lisa asked the guy that he now recognizes her as his teacher. From the very beginning, he had doubted her skill. Sam was slightly embarrassed by this, but still replied that yes, now he had no doubts about it. This made Lisa happy and reassured. But then she remembered something and looked down sadly. The girl asked the guy if he was sad that her sister had died. Lisa was interested to ask the guy if he had cried out this grief properly, or if he was still holding back. Sam replied to Lisa that yes, he was really overcome with sadness, and he cried for a very long time because of this grief. However, it doesn't bother the guy anymore. Lisa replied to the guy that since he said so, she thinks everything is fine. She was calm. Lisa told the guy that he was still a child, so if he suddenly wanted to cry, he could do it as much as he liked. Sam agreed with the girl. Sam told the girl that, okay, he was just her student. The guy asked Lisa how she and her sisters were going through this grief. Lisa replied that of course their whole family was sad. But still, the girl wasn't really worried about it. Lies thinks it would sound reckless on her part. Sam asked the girl if she wasn't completely sad to realize the loss of someone close to her. Lisa replied that of course she was very sorry that her sister could not live as long as possible, and maybe she didn't have time to enjoy her life enough. Still, Lisa was told that she was the kind of girl who definitely wouldn't die without doing everything she wanted. Lisa was sure that she had had fun these 4 years with Sam. The girl got up from the ground and said that was why she would like to say goodbye to her without sadness, but with a smile on her face. Besides, that's what her sister would probably want too. Sam thought about the girl's words and said that she was probably right about it. Lisa herself had no doubt about it either. Suddenly, Lisa confessed that she was actually jealous of her sister. Sam asked the girl what she was talking about. Suddenly, Lisa abruptly stood up and said that was it. Their conversation was over. The girl wanted them to continue their training. Sam was very surprised that Lisa abruptly left the topic and switched to training. The guy tried to stop Lisa and asked that they would continue training so quickly. The guy was very angry and he screamed in despair. After a while, Erica came up to Sam and invited him to come with her. Sam was slightly embarrassed. The guy thought that it had been 2 whole weeks since he was there, and she suddenly decided to talk to him. The guy didn't understand why she would want something from him. Sam turned to Erica and asked if she had any plans for today. This made the girl very angry, and Erica called the guy an impudent man. She asked him what he thought. Since Lisa's older sister was training him, she would make friends with him. Sam replied that he didn't mean it at all. Erica was very angry, and she told the guy that she didn't care at all. Erica turned around and called the guy to follow her. Sam asked the girl where she was going. Erica replied that they were going to the Adventurers Guild. After a while, Erica and Sam came to the guild. Sam looked around and told Erica that there were a lot fewer people in this place than he might have thought. It seemed to him that life should be in full swing here. Erica replied to the guy that this guild is small only because it is represented by the royal family in the capital. The girl asked Sam if he really didn't even know about it. Sam awkwardly replied that this was how it turned out. The guy thought he couldn't have known about it. Immediately, Sam remembered Erica's words that she would expose his true identity in the dungeon. Sam thought about how he needed to sort this out as soon as possible and go home. The guys were standing in line and the guy told Erica that they had just a little bit left. Suddenly, the guy walked past Sam and abruptly pushed him in the shoulder. It was a grumpy guy who turned to Sam and said he was bothering him there. The guy went to the front desk and called all those who were standing in line damn dirty commoners. Sam tried to calm himself down mentally because this would only create problems for everyone. Suddenly, the guy came up to the counter, sharply punched it with his fist, and asked the girl who was standing behind it if the registration was here. Sam thought about how this guy was so pompous. The guy suggested that he could be some kind of aristocrat. The receptionist turned to the arrogant guy and asked him for forgiveness. She asked if he could get in line like everyone else. This made the guy very angry, and he asked the girl how dare she talk to him there. The guy asked if the register wanted him, the count's eldest son, Ranzaguri Dorgan, to stand in line with the commoners. Sam was very surprised to hear this guy's words. Sam thought that this was the cliché when a rich aristocrat appeared. The receptionist replied to the guy that these were the rules in their guild and he had to follow them. The guy was indignant and asked the receptionist that she decided to resist his orders, and she had a lot of courage. Ranzaguri shouted that as soon as he told his father about what had happened in the guild, she would be kicked out of there. The guy demanded that the woman quickly say her name. Sam was shocked by the way this guy was acting. Sam thought that of course he had no idea how the guild treats the children of aristocrats. But apparently it only causes unnecessary trouble. Sam thought there was nothing he could do about this situation, when suddenly Erica couldn't help herself and shouted at the count's son to end this whole farce. Sam was very surprised by Erica's action, and the girl told Ranzaguri that he was only causing everyone problems. The girl asked that he was so dumb that he didn't even know about the queue. Erica said she couldn't believe she was hearing such words from the son of an aristocrat. Ranzaguri Dorgan got angry and asked Erica how dare she talk to him like that. Sam turned to the guys and asked them to calm down. Sam asked Erica what she was saying to the Earl's son. But the girl told the guy to shut up. The girl pointed her finger at Ranzaguri and shouted that she hates spoiled types like this guy the most. Ranzaguri Dorgan started calling the girl bad names. But then he carefully examined Erica from all sides. The guy looked at her face and other places that interested the guy. Ranzaguri Dorgan turned to Erica and said that for a commoner, she had a very impressive body. This made the girl very angry. Erica demanded from the guy that he stop looking at her in that tone. Suddenly, Ranzaguri Dorgan told the girl that he had decided everything. The guy challenges her to a duel. Erica and Sam were at a loss as to what this guy was carrying. Ranzaguri Dorgan told Erica that she was the one who was looking for a fight right now. The guy asked the girl that she was not afraid to come out against him. Erica was very angry, and she wanted to say a lot to this guy. Erica was able to control herself, and she said it was okay. Sam thought that Erica would not agree to this. Erica shouted that she was accepting the challenge to this duel. Sam immediately asked Erica to stop, and he told the girl that she shouldn't give in to such a provocation so easily. Erica was so angry that she just kept shutting Sam up and didn't want to listen to him at all. Sam looked at Ranzaguri Dorgan and his subjects, and he thought that this guy's face was so cunning that he was clearly up to something bad. Ranzaguri Dorgan looked at Sam and said he was such a boring servant. Sam was in a stupor. The guy said that he was right. He had come up with something else. The guy told Sam that if he was so worried about her, then he was challenging him to a duel too. Sam couldn't believe his ears because he didn't want to. Erica decided to express her bewilderment to the guy, and she said that there were 3 people in Ranzaguri Dorgan's team, and Erica and Sam were only 2. The girl asked if it would be a fair fight. Ranzaguri scoffed at the girl and said that she was the one who wanted the fight so badly, so she should have known what conditions she was going to. Ranzaguri saw the girl's angry face, and he asked her why she was so scared of him. Erica asked the count's son if she was scared. The guy asked Erica what that meant. She doesn't have any objections, does she? Erica screamed that she didn't give a damn about it. She told them to attack her at least in a crowd. Sam was confused by what Erica was saying. The guy thought that the girl had completely lost her temper and couldn't control her anger. Ranzaguri asked the girl to listen to him carefully. The guy said that since this duel takes place in the guild, it'll be considered official. The guy added that, in other words, the loser will have to fulfill absolutely any wish of the winner that he wants. Ranjaguri laughed at the girl and said that if he won this battle, then they would both become his slaves. The guy asked the guys how they had such an offer. Sam was in a stupor, and he asked Ranzaguri what he was talking about. Sam turned to Erica and asked her why he was setting such conditions for them. Erica was filled with hatred, so she asked Sam if he would shut his mouth today. The girl turned to Ranzaguri and said that it was good if he wanted it that way, then it would be so. Sam was shocked by Erica's decision. The guy decided to remind the girl that he was getting her involved in this too. Sam asked if such fights were not a relic of the past. Erica replied to the guy that yes. But if they win, then everything will be fine and they will not become his servants. At that moment, Ranzaguri was laughing at the guys, and he asked Sam and Erica not to be offended if they suddenly died. And he laughed again. Sam thought it was such an abomination that he couldn't imagine. But if he's in this mess, then he'll have to try and do his best. Sam thought that the Earl's son was a bit overconfident. The guy wondered if he really only looked so weak and didn't represent anything. Although Sam himself doesn't feel anything like that. Erica turned to Ranzaguri and asked him not to regret it later, if he suddenly dies. Ranzaguri laughed at the guys. The guy turned to the girl who came with him and asked her if she knew what to do in such a situation. The girl replied that yes, of course. At that moment, Sam turned to Erica and suggested that he at least go out alone. But Erica was outraged and asked her to hide behind the back of someone who was younger than her. The girl asked the guy not to joke in such a situation. Meanwhile, the guys went outside and the registrar at the guild turned and said that in that case, the official duel of the adventurers of the guild would begin now. Erica supplemented the words of the registrar that now she would see how she would blow them to smithereens. But at that moment, Ranzaguri made a surprise hit on Erica and shouted for her to eat it. The blow was very strong, so the girl flew back. Sam was shocked that Ranzaguri would allow himself to do this. He asked Ranzaguri what the hell he was doing. Erica flew over the ground and fell right into Sam's arms. The guy barely managed to catch her. Sam tried to shout at Erica and bring her to her senses. The guy asked the girl if she was okay. Sam looked at the Earl's son and thought that this was some kind of joke. It was a violation of the rules of the duel. The guy thought that they had struck at them before the signal for the start of the fight sounded. And it happened right in front of the referee. To Sam, it was utter nonsense. Suddenly, Ranzaguri started laughing loudly, and he said that now this woman would become his slave. The receptionist asked Ranzaguri to stop because he had just violated very important guild rules. So the receptionist said that she would not count this match. But Ranzaguri asked the girl to shut up right now, because no woman from the guild dares to order him what to do and when. Sam asked the Earl's son that he had planned to do this from the very beginning of their agreement, hadn't he? Ranzaguri laughed at him and said that since he was an aristocrat, he would set the rules here. The guy said that he would never fight commoners on equal terms in his life. Ranzaguri told Sam to get off the road and go home. Sam hated Ranzaguri, and he said something to the guy, but he didn't hear him. Ranzaguri asked Sam what he was muttering to himself. Ranzaguri began to suspect that Sam was planning to do something to him. Suddenly, a huge hand burst right out of the ground and grabbed the man and his subjects in its fist. Ranzaguri began to scream loudly in fear and pain. Ranzaguri asked Sam about what was going on there and why a huge hand had grown out of the ground. Sam turned to the golem and asked him to listen to the order. Sam told him to crush them. Ranzaguri started to worry about this, and he asked the guy to let him go. Ranzaguri called Sam a freak and said it was so mean, and this is a real violation of the rules. But Sam told the guy that he was going to put those words back in his mouth. Sam clenched his fist, and Ranzaguri began to scream in pain. He begged Sam to stop doing it because he was in a lot of pain. Sam asked Ranzaguri what he would choose now, aka, to surrender and become a slave, or to be crushed by Sam personally. Ranzaguri asked the guy to stop joking with him, because he would never become someone's slave. Suddenly, the receptionist told Ranzaguri that it was, after all, an official duel. Ranzaguri wanted to be outraged and argue with the girl, but it was too painful for him. The guy replied to Sam that to hell with him, he would give up. Suddenly, huge fingers squeezed Ranzaguri's hand. Sam told the Earl's son to die right now. Ranzaguri started screaming in pain, and he begged not to kill him. His arm hurt a lot. Ranzaguri couldn't take it anymore, and he shouted to Sam that he would admit that he had lost in this fight. So he will give up. Ranzaguri wanted to ask Sam for something, but the guy just put his hand down and Ranzaguri and his subjects fell to the ground from a great height. The registrar announced the result of this match and said that Samuel Shate was the winner. After a while, Sam took Erica to bed so that she could recover and rest there. When Erica woke up, the first thing she saw in front of her was Sam, who was worried about her condition and was constantly by her side. Sam breathed a sigh of relief and said he was very glad she was awake. Erica got up from the bed and took hold of her aching head. The girl asked Sam how their fight with that guy went. The girl asked what they had won in it. Sam shared with the girl that yes, he taught them a lesson, but they didn't pose much of a threat to him, so it was easy for him to do it. Erica was slightly surprised and asked, "So that's how it was?" Erica asked Sam what happened to them then. Sam replied that he had given them to a slaver and he was dealing with them. Erica was very surprised by this, but then Erica's face changed, and she realized that she had overdone her behavior. Erica apologized to the guy for everything she did wrong, but Sam didn't hold it against her at all and replied that she shouldn't apologize to him right now. After all, he wanted it himself. Erica was very sad and she was thinking. The girl turned to Sam and confessed that she had been jealous of him all this time. This surprised Sam, and he asked the girl why this happened. Erica admitted that she was very hurt to realize this, and for a long time she did not want to admit to herself that Orr chose Sam, not her. That's why Erica behaved so terribly towards Sam. The girl admitted that she was really sorry that everything turned out that way. Despite this, Sam smiled at Erica and said that it didn't bother him at all. But Erica shouted that she was still worried about it. The girl told the guy that because she was acting like a fool, she went and got into this stupid duel with that moronic aristocrat. The girl exposed herself in the most terrible light. Erica said she was so pathetic. She was very ashamed of it. The girl shared with the guy that when her older sister died, and when she found out that Sam inherited her whole essence, she lost her purpose in life. She knew perfectly well that she shouldn't be mad at this, but she still acted as if it was all Sam's fault. The guy replied to Erica that she had lost a very dear member of her family, so Sam did not see anything terrible in this. Erica said that the guy had also lost a very important and beloved person for himself. Sam immediately wilted because was really very dear to him. The guy admitted that yes, it is. She was the person he loved the most in the world. Erica said that in that case he shouldn't have comforted her, because the guy feels the same emotions. The girl admitted that in this situation, she acted so terribly with someone who was no better off than she was. Erica began to cry bitterly and told the guy that he was their family member who shared their pain. Erica no longer contained her emotions, and she burst into tears bitterly. Sam tried to calm her down, and he told Erica that it was okay, he understood her. But Sam himself was only thinking about her. The guy thought that everyone really loved her very much. Meanwhile, night fell and Erica and Sam got into the carriage and set off on the road. Erica told the guy that they would be arriving at the estate soon. The guy replied that he was sure that her father would be very angry with him. Erica admitted that she thinks so too. Suddenly, Erica turned to the guy and asked him to listen to her. The girl thanked Sam for what he had done today and helped her. Erica also apologized to the guy for everything else she could have done. For example, for her disgusting behavior. Sam smiled at the girl and asked her to stop apologizing to him already. Erica was very embarrassed and she asked Sam if he had really forgiven her. Despite this, Erica apologized to Sam once again. The guy asked her to stop telling her that. Erica told the guy that from that day on he was a member of their family. Therefore, the girl asked Sam that when they had some free time, they would talk to each other about her older sister Sam realized that this conversation would be very important for the girl. He replied to Erica that yes, of course, they would talk about The next day, Lisa abruptly ran into Sam's room and called the guy to go with him and take a walk. It was so unexpected for Sam that he choked on his tea. The guy cleared his throat and asked Lisa why she suddenly called him for a walk so abruptly. And besides, Sam was wondering where she wanted to go for a walk with him. Lisa replied to the guy that she would like to go hunting with Sam. Lisa continued to give Sam survival training under all sorts of circumstances. Meanwhile, night had already fallen, and Lisa and Sam had lit a small fire. They sat down next to him to keep warm. Sam was very tense, and he thought about why they needed to set up camp in this place. Lisa had told the guy that they would return home the same day. Suddenly, Sam saw that the girl was eating a leg from a carcass with her bare hands. He put his hand in his storage and asked Lisa if she needed a fork or a knife. Lisa replied to the guy that he probably didn't understand anything about it at all. After all, eating with your hands is much tastier than eating with cutlery. Sam certainly didn't understand that. The guy thought that as soon as she suggested that he go hunting, her mood strangely improved. The guy can tell that she has become very excited. Lisa told the guy that he still knows how to cook delicious food. Sam replied with a strained smile to the girl that he hadn't done anything special. The guy immediately thought that he just lived alone in a previous life, so he learned a lot on his own. Lisa confessed to the guy that she is not very good at cooking, but this does not mean that she does not know how to cook anything at all. Lisa was told that she could cook something if she needed very little and had the strength to do it. Lisa asked the guy that her older sister probably didn't cook anything either. Sam replied that yes, it was. She was a very careless person by nature. Suddenly, Lisa told the guy that she had an important conversation with him. Sam became interested, and he asked the girl what she would like to talk to him about. Lisa told the guy that she knows a lot about his past from the letter that Ur gave them. Sam asked Lisa that she was probably surprised when she found out from the letter that he didn't have such an amazing past, did he? But Lisa replied to the guy that this was not the case at all. The girl said that despite the fact that she knows almost everything about him, Sam does not know anything about the girl herself, and Lisa feels that it was unfair to the guy. Lisa said she thought it was unfair. That's why she wants Sam to get to know her even better. The girl admitted that this was why she had forced him to go hunting with her today, so that they could talk about it. Lisa decided to warn the guy right away that this would not be the most pleasant conversation they had. The girl asked Sam if he was sure he wanted to listen to her. Sam replied to the girl that if she wanted it so much, then he would be happy to listen to her whole story. Lisa was very pleased to understand that Sam was interested in this, so she began her story. Lisa admitted that the fact was that she was married. This fact from the girl's life surprised Sam very much. Lisa said that maybe Sam would not be particularly comfortable discussing such things, but the girl really wanted Sam to hear her story to the end. Liz shared with the guy that she was married 3 years ago, but in 6 months she had not managed to get pregnant. Because of this, her mother constantly reproached the girl. Sam told Lisa that in such cases, both partners take responsibility for the child, not just the girl herself. The guy thought about it and said that, in general, conceiving a child in 6 months is a very difficult task, so it wasn't surprising that they couldn't do it in any way. Lisa sadly replied to the guy that her ex-husband did not think so about this. At the beginning of the relationship, the girl considered her husband a very kind man. But as soon as they failed to have a child, he changed dramatically and became completely different. Lisa shared that he began to lock her in a room alone. He did not let her pick up a sword. And it also happened that it came to the point that her ex-husband raised his hand against Lisa. Then the girl's husband made her completely guilty of the fact that he took a mistress and began to go to her. Sam was very angry with this man, and he called him a scumbag. The guy believed that it was wrong to do this to a person. Lisa admitted that in her 21 years, she had never experienced a feeling of bitterness in her life. The guy became sad and thought that Lisa's ex had done the wrong thing when he forced her to take on such responsibility. It was possible that such a thing was normal in this world, but Sam didn't understand it. It still made him very angry. Lisa said that eventually her father and mother sensed something was wrong, after which they began to visit the girl more, and then they found out about everything that was happening in their daughter's life. Then there was a huge scandal, and after that the guys divorced. Sam apologized to the girl for saying this, but she had a terrible marriage. Lisa laughed a little and said that he was definitely telling the truth about it. Sam calmed down a little because despite all the problems, she still decided to cut off all ties with this bad man. Now Lisa is living the way she wants right now, and maybe someday she will meet the man of her dreams and fall in love with him again, and then they will live happily ever after. Sam remembered Ur's last words that she wished the guy to fall in love, start a family, and live a long, happy life. The guy thought that he had just said something similar to what had told him. At the time, the guy was completely unaware of why she was thinking about it, but now Sam understood everything. All because the guy was thinking about this man and, of course, wishes him happiness. Lisa laughed awkwardly and told the guy that she was very grateful for his support. Sam was a little indignant and asked the girl why they were saying words of gratitude to him. He just said the obvious things. Lisa told the guy that she could see that someone was in a bad mood. Sam was indignant and replied that yes, of course it had gone bad. All this time while she was being treated so cruelly and ugly, the guy was not doing anything serious, and he did not even realize that such things could happen to the girl. Sam said that if he and had found out about this situation earlier, then they would have immediately run to Lisa to rat out her ex-husband. Even now, he still wants to kick his ass for all his actions. Lisa replied that she was very pleased to hear this from Sam, however, it might cause him unnecessary trouble. So she would just thank Sam again for his kind words. The girl admitted that the guy is very kind. Sam replied to the girl that it was obvious. The guy wanted to say something to the girl, but he couldn't find the words. Lisa asked the guy what he was talking about. Sam thought about it. The guy called Lisa his dear teacher. This confused the girl, and she said that the guy was making her blush. The girl couldn't contain her emotions, so she attacked the guy. Lisa hugged Sam tightly and said he was so cute. Sam asked Lisa to stop and not hug him. The girl said that's what it's like to have a student. She was very pleased. Sam smelled the girl and said that she smelled so delicious that he even started to feel dizzy. Lisa hugged the guy so hard that he asked the girl not to snuggle so much against him. Lisa told the guy that the holy swordsman, despite his strictness, was also affectionate with the students. And now she can understand his feelings. The girl realized that educating people is a wonderful thing. Lisa pressed the guy even harder. The girl took Sam by the hand and said that meeting him gave him another opportunity to pick up a sword, so the girl decided to thank Sam again. The guy exhaled with relief and thought that after all, his mentor really looks good with a smile. The guy didn't want her to have a sad face. Sam really wanted Lisa to become so happy that she could forget about her unhappy past. The guy wished the girl only the best with all his heart and soul. Meanwhile, Erica left her parents' office in a bad mood. The girl said that her parents might not be mad at her so much. Erica sighed heavily and said that if Sam hadn't been there for her, they would have cut not only her pocket money, but would have done something more serious. Erica added that today they continued to reproach her. Apparently, Viscount Ranzagore contacted his parents after the incident. When he found out that his son and the servants had become slaves, he of course began to protest. Naturally, the parents did not participate in this farce because Viscount Ranzagore's family is a hostile faction. And besides, thanks to the guild's testimony, their complaint was rejected. People say that in the end they had to buy their son and servants from slavers for double the cost. Erica wondered how things would have turned out if Sam hadn't been there for her. Erica asked where Sam was. Wasn't it his turn to practice with her after lunch? Suddenly, there was a guy behind the girl who greeted Erica. The guy said they hadn't seen each other for a long time. Erica immediately turned to Gunter and angrily asked him why he was there. The guy was calm, and he told the girl that she was talking very rudely to him. The guy asked if this was how a girl should behave with her older brother. Erica replied to Gunter that he had got it into his head that they were brother and sister. But the girl herself does not personally remember that they became relatives. Gunter told the girl that she was cruel to him as always. The guy told Erica that he had known her since early childhood, and besides, she doesn't know about something yet. Suddenly, the guy announced to Erica that he was marrying his older sister. He is the beloved of herself. Gunter told the girl that whether she wanted it or not, he would still become an older brother to her. Erica chuckled and asked the guy what was coming out. He still didn't have a taste of everything that was happening. Gunter asked Erica what she was talking about. Erica replied that her older sister had passed away not so long ago, but Gunter said quite calmly that this was what she was talking about. The girl did not notice at least a little bit of grief in the guy, and Erica did not like it. She asked the guy what she meant by that. Gunter replied that he had heard about death. The guy was sure that there was a scoundrel who, with the help of this lie, ingratiated himself into the confidence of Erica's family. Gunter asked that this guy's name was like Samuel. He also called himself a disciple of Erica replied to the guy that he wasn't lying about it at all. Erica sadly said that her older sister had indeed died. Gunter added that he had also heard that this Samuel was foolishly using the famous magic of the Shades. For Gunter, this was a very interesting person. Erica replied that Sam was the only successor she had raised all this time, so she asked Gunter not to say anything bad about him. Sam's defense surprised Gunter. The guy said that he was confused because it seemed to him that Erica would be against him. After all, she aspired to become her successor like no one else. But now Gunter sees completely different emotions. Erica replied to the guy that she denied it and was jealous of him, but he proved that he was worthy to be her student. Erica reminded Gunter that it had been 2 weeks since the news that her sister had died, and the girl thought that he would rush over the same day as soon as he found out about it. The girl asked Gunter what he had been doing all this time. Gunter chuckled and replied that he was so stunned that he fainted and only woke up this morning. It was so hard for him to accept. The guy added that all this was no longer important, because then he was a real fool, because could not die in any way. But for a moment he believed it himself. Erica turned to Gunter and wanted to call him something, but the guy said it was time for him to meet his This made the girl very angry, and she asked the guy how many times he could repeat the same thing several times. She asked Gunter to listen to what was being said to him. Erica said it had been a long time since her funeral, so he was already late. Gunter replied that then he wanted her to introduce him to this Samuel. The guy said that if she says that he really accepted everything from her, then he needs to meet with him in person. Erica asked the guy to do without his nonsense. Gunter explained that he just had a few questions for him. Since he was recognized even by a girl like Erica, who loved her sister very much, then he definitely should get to know him. The guy said that he originally planned to tear him to pieces. But after looking at Erica, he decided to change his plans. Gunter asked Erica to take the guy to Sam. Erica asked the guy that he really didn't want to hear anything at all, as if she would let a psycho like Gunter meet with Sam and discuss something. Gunter replied that he was absolutely sure that Sam would want to meet with him, since he was successor and her disciple. The guy said that no matter how the circumstances turned out, he still remains spouse. Meanwhile, Sam was in training with Lisa. The guy lay down on the ground from fatigue, and the girl suggested that he take a short break so that he could rest. Lisa confessed to Sam that he was already getting stronger over time. Only the girl was sorry that he did not wield a sword. Sam laughed a little and replied to the girl that when he mastered it, he would perfect his way in magic. Lisa asked the guy that it didn't sound cool that he would be a magic student. Sam replied that yes, of course it was very cool. Lisa laughed and said that, after all, he was a boy. Sam told Lisa that first he would need to succeed as a magician. A guy should strive for the position of a court magician. Lisa replied to the guy that he was thinking about it correctly. The highest-ranking magicians in this country receive a special status of court magicians. Sam replied to the girl that was a court magician before she left this country. Therefore, the guy would also really like to achieve this goal. Lisa shared with Sam the information that this means that first he must win the magic tournament, which will take place in 3 months. Sam agreed with the girl on this. Sam thought that they had 3 magic tournaments a year, and if he showed his abilities there, then maybe someone would notice him. Lisa told the guy that the fastest way is to ask for recommendations from other court magicians. Then he will have a better chance. Sam agreed with the girl. Lisa said that she knows a court magician, but there is a small problem that Sam needs to know about. At that moment, Gunter appeared behind Lisa and told the girl that they had no problems. Lisa turned around and greeted the guy with a strained smile. Gunter put his hand on Sam's shoulder and Dad was a little scared of it. He said he was scared. He doesn't know who it is. When Sam saw Gunter, he wondered who this handsome man was standing in front of him. But still, Sam noticed that he was giving off such a hostile aura. Gunter told the guy, which means he is the same Samuel. Sam awkwardly said that yes, it was. Gunter immediately closed his eyes and said that he couldn't believe it. Suddenly, Gunter began to scream sharply and Sam was afraid of it. Gunter was crying and screaming with all his might. The guy fell to the ground abruptly and Erica put her foot on him. Erica didn't like it again, and she told the guy to finally shut up, because everyone was already very tired of him. Sam didn't understand at all what was going on there and who this guy was. He looked at Lisa to ask her why he was acting like this. But the girl turned her head away from Sam and didn't tell him anything. Erica turned to Sam and asked him to ignore this freak. Sam asked Erica why he was a freak. Burying his face in the ground, Gunter turned to Sam and said that he felt the magic of coming from him. So, she really died. Erica looked at the guy sarcastically that he only realized this now. Gunter got up from the ground and Sam thought that even he still couldn't feel her properly inside himself. It was strange to him that Gunter felt it immediately. Gunter apologized to Sam and said that he hadn't even introduced himself yet. The guy mentioned his name. Suddenly, Gunter made a statement that was his fiancée. Sam couldn't believe his ears, but Erica and Lisa were completely calm. Sam asked the guy what he was saying about marrying her. Suddenly, Lisa told Sam not to worry about it because he made it up himself. Sam looked at the girl in surprise, and Lisa told him that he was self-proclaimed fiancé. But this angered Gunter very much, and the guy said that no, she really is his fiancée. Erica couldn't stand it and shouted at the guy that he was the only one who said that, and everyone else didn't think so. Even herself was not happy about this news. Gunter replied that she was just shy, and that was why she did not accept the fact of marriage. Erica replied to the guy that no, it's just impossible. Lisa noticed that Sam didn't understand at all what was going on there, and she apologized to the guy. The girl said that Gunter had always been like that. While Gunter and Erica were fighting with each other, Sam said that it was very surprising for him. It's much more than just sympathy. Lisa replied to the guy that he was really right about that. Gunter confessed his love to her many times, but each time she rejected him. The girl said that he became more and more persistent each time and did not stop his trips to at all. Lisa admitted that it started to feel like harassment. The girl told the guy that Gunter always came to their house just because their families were on friendly terms. He even searched his sister's room and tried to find something there. Sam said he was very strange. Lisa replied that she didn't even remember how many times she and Erica had to kick this annoying guy out of their house. Suddenly, Gunter stopped Lisa and said that Samuel might misunderstand him. But Lisa replied to the guy that it was all true, and she wasn't lying to anyone. Lisa pointed a sword at Gunther and said that if he had done everything that was in his plans, then he could get out of their house. Gunter took up the girl's sword and said that his business was not over yet. Gunter pointed at Sam and said that he wanted to talk to him. This surprised Sam very much, and he clarified why it was with him. Gunter replied to the guy that Orr's death was a huge loss for all of them. But Sam inherited all the abilities that the girl possessed and became her successor. Suddenly, Gunter took Sam by the hand and said that he was taking him as his wife. Sam was in a stupor, and he couldn't answer the guy. Lisa and Erica immediately pushed the guy away, and Erica called him a freaking freak. She asked Gunther what he was talking about. The girl assumed that he was drunk. Lisa asked Gunther if he understood that Sam was a guy. Gunther asked the girls what they thought, that he considered Sam a girl. Erica told the guy that then he wouldn't have to bother Sam. Gunther told the guys that all this may really sound strange, but he really is in his right mind, and he accepts the fact that has left this world and all her loved ones. Gunther shouted that despite this, there was a man standing right in front of him who had inherited all the abilities from her. And this means that he may well marry Sam. He doesn't see any problem with that. Gunther turned to Sam again and asked him to get married. Sam was in a stupor, and he thought that this guy had just gone off the rails. Suddenly, Gunther felt something prickle in his heart, and he clutched his chest. Sam was scared of this and immediately ran up to the guy to help. Sam asked the guy what had happened to him and what was hurting him. Gunther apologized to Sam and said that he just has a chronic illness so he doesn't have to worry. Suddenly, the guy took out her underwear and started sniffing it. The guy in bliss said that he could smell her. His only goal was to become her husband, and he was constantly improving as a magician to stand on a par with her. The guy kicked out his inept brother for this and became the next head of the Count's family. But still, the guy did not understand why took and died. Only can heal him. Yes, Gunther admitted that he had been crazy about her since the day they met as children. Sam stood and looked at the guy with shock in his eyes. Erica told Sam that it was their sister's underwear and he stole it again. Sam didn't understand Gunther at all. He told him that it was just disgusting. But Gunther called Sam a bad boy and said that as he sees it, the guy does not want to become his wife. Sam thought that if he didn't do something, his chastity would be in danger. Sam turned to the girls and asked if they couldn't stop the guy from doing that anymore. Lisa replied to Sam that she really wanted to do it, but he was too strong. Erica agreed with her sister on this. Erica added that Gunther is a court magician of the 5th rank. Sam was in shock, and he screamed hysterically. The guy asked the girls that he was the one. Gunther first called the guy Samuel, but then corrected himself and said that he would call him Sam. But the guy didn't like it, and he asked Gunther not to call him that in any case. Gunther told the guy that he had heard that he wanted to become a court magician. Sam smiled nervously and asked the guy what was the matter. Gunther replied that he would recommend him for one of the vacancies of a court magician, However, there is one condition. Gunter told the guy that he wanted to see what he was capable of. That's why Gunter invited the guy to fight him. Gunter said that he intended to support his wife, but still he really wanted to know if Sam would be able to master the power that he inherited from the late and his own talents. Sam looked at Gunter and thought that he was not just a freak. Gunter told the guy that if he inherited power and demonstrated inept magic, he would just kill him. Lisa got angry and asked Sam not to listen to Gunter. Erica said there are other ways to do this. But Sam calmed the girls down and said that he was fine. Sam said that he is proud to be a student of Besides, it will be a good opportunity to find out how strong the court magicians are. So Sam made a decision and told Gunnar Ignatz that he was ready for this battle. Gunter laughed a little and asked Sam to entertain him properly. After a while, the guys got ready for battle, and Gunter asked Sam if he was ready. The guy replied that he was ready to start at any moment. Gunter snapped his fingers and said that in that case he would take advantage of it. Suddenly, a barrier appeared around Gunter and Sam realized what it was. The guy told Gunter that it was a barrier spell. Gunter replied that it was a good point. Gunther told Sam that he is a master of barrier spells, and so far, no one has been able to destroy his shields, except Sam replied to the guy that everything was clear to him, so he will be the second person to do it. Gunter replied to the guy that it was very brave of him. All Gunter can do in this situation is to put up a barrier, because he's not a fan of rough fights. Sam said it was very elegant. Gunter replied that if he could break through his defenses, then he would be considered the winner of this battle. But he's not going to feel sorry for him at all. Gunter wished the guy luck. Sam replied that this was how the guy felt about him. He'll see how long it lasts. Gunter grinned at the guy, but Sam decided to take action. He took off and rushed towards Gunter. Sam was trying to reach his maximum speed so that he could destroy the barrier. The guy was thinking that he would be one step ahead of him. Gunter looked back slightly and said that Sam was moving pretty fast. But still, it wasn't enough for him to not have time to react to his attack. And even if that happened, the barrier protecting him would not allow him to attack the guy. Sam was already very close, and Gunter wasn't worried about it at all. But despite the guy's efforts, Sam failed to break through the barrier around Gunter. Sam sat down and Gunter told him that he didn't care how fast he was moving. But as long as Gunter is inside the barrier, Sam won't be able to touch him. Sam grinned at Gunter and said that destroying this barrier would be no problem for him. Gunter appreciated Sam and said that his behavior was very bad. But still, the speed and strength impressed the guy. Sam asked Gunter not to relax too much because he managed to stop his punch. Sam began to assess the situation, and the guy thought that they were both standing on the ground at the moment. But earthly magic in this situation was a meaningless occupation. So he decided to act differently. Sam decided to use the flame. Gunter was completely unimpressed, and he snorted at the guy who was all on fire. Suddenly, Sam took off, and Gunter said that the guy had used body-strengthening magic along with flame enhancement. He had never seen anything like this before. Sam thought at that moment that if could break even strong barriers, then he would definitely be able to do it. But when Sam landed with his feet on Gunter's barrier, he failed to destroy it again. Gunter looked at Sam and assumed that these were combat attacks. But then he changed his mind and realized that Lisa had taught him this in her training. Gunter saw a combination of punches and fire attacks. And if Sam combined it all, then his strength increases tenfold. But still, Gunter was sure that Sam would not even reach him like that. Sam's foot kicked off Gunter's barrier, and the guy bounced off him again. When Sam landed on the ground, he realized that this ability did not help him either. Sam realized that it was much more difficult for him than he could have imagined, but it was too early for him to panic. Sam was confident that he would be able to break Gunter's barrier and win. In that case, the guy had a chance to win. Sam concentrated all his strength in his fist to deal with Gunter. Sam decided to try a new way to destroy the barrier. He hit the barrier with all his might and screamed loudly. Gunter felt the guy's strength and told Sam that he really knows how to concentrate all his strength at one point. Sam also has an amazing amount of magic, but still not enough to break through his barrier. Suddenly, Gunter saw that his barrier was starting to crack. This meant that Sam had managed to start destroying it. Gunter immediately started to panic a lot, and he called Sam an idiot. Sam was very happy about it, and he said that now he would definitely win. Despite this, Gunter smiled and told Sam that his barrier wasn't completely destroyed, so it didn't mean anything. Sam replied to the guy that yes, he sees it. Gunter told the guy that he had the same approach to fighting as his mentor. He never gives up. The guy said that even seemingly simple magic can become a serious threat if you have great magical power. But Sam hasn't shown his full strength yet. Gunter asked Sam if he was right, but the guy didn't answer him. Gunter said it looked like he had underestimated him. The guy said that from now on he would make his barrier as strong as possible. Gunter told Sam that he wanted the guy to give his all to this battle. Sam replied that he agreed to it. The guy asked if their courtyard was well protected, because Sam doesn't want anything to happen to their family. Gunter was confused for a second by the guy's words, but still he laughed and said that this was the reason why he was not giving his best. Gunter asked Sam not to worry about it. The barriers protecting this place are his best work designed for serious battles with Gunter was sure that Sam would not be able to destroy them because he had just inherited the power of Gunter spread his arms and said he hoped the guy would jump into his chest with all his might. Sam promised the guy that he would definitely do it. Sam gathered all his strength into a fist and prepared to attack. Gunter saw the guy's strength and said it was all fine. Sam got ready, and he asked Gunter to put all his strength into it, as if he was putting his life on the line. Sam rushed towards Gunter and shouted that this was his mentor's best technique, so let Gunter take a bite. Sam shouted for the flames to pierce the defenses. Gunter realized that his business was bad. He began to defend himself with his hands and scream. At that moment, Gunter was thinking that this was a pure direct attack, a concentrated flame. Only someone with great magical power is capable of such a thing. It was a high-density magical fire bombardment, but that's not all. Sam asked Gunter, who had told him that there would be only one shot. Sam then sent a few more punches in his direction. Gunter was scared of this and asked Sam if the guy thought he was as good as Sam suggested that Gunter see for himself. The guy asked Gunter if the guy was sure that he could hold his barrier and avoid harm to others. Gunter was scared of this and asked Sam to stop. But it was already too late. There was a very powerful explosion on the battlefield. Erica and Lisa watched it, and when they saw the cloud of smoke, the girls said it was incredible. Lisa told Erica that she couldn't believe her eyes. The girl did not know that Sam was capable of such a thing. But if that was the case, then she was very glad. Suddenly, Lisa asked Erica where Gunter was. Lisa asked to call a healer to the battlefield because his position does not allow such stormy battles. Suddenly, Gunter's shadow appeared through the smoke, and the guy told Lisa that she didn't need to call anyone. Gunter apologized to the guys for disturbing them. The guy wasn't wearing any clothes at all. Gunter said he was fine and they didn't have to worry. Sam was shocked by the guy's appearance, and he asked Gunter why he came out to them naked. Gunter replied that it was good that he had put protective charms on his suit. Sam replied that it didn't matter. Now he has to keep his promise and take back the stupid idea of taking him as his wife. Gunter got a little upset and told Sam that there was nothing he could do about the situation. The duty of the player is to obey the winner. He swears that Sam will not become his wife. Sam let out a sigh of relief. But then Gunter said that it would be better if he became Sam's wife himself. The guy was shocked by the guy's strange desires. Gunter asked Sam not to be afraid because he sees Samuel in the guy, not That's why Sam can't even doubt it. Gunter promised Sam that he would love him, Samuel Shate, with all his heart. Sam was in a stupor, and he asked what was going on with him. The guy couldn't figure out when the day would come when he would be able to live with a calm soul. At that moment, Erica and Lise were watching Sam and the naked Gunter. Lisa told the girl that they should get rid of Gunter before he had time to exert a corrupting influence on Sam. Erica agreed with her sister and said that it was a terrible sight, and Gunter was an incorrigible pervert who didn't care who to molest. Lisa looked at her sister, and she asked Erica why she looked so worried. She is so glad that Sam won this battle. Erica was slightly embarrassed. The girl replied to Lisa that this was not the case. But then the girl said that yes, it was true. Erica looked at Sam and said it looked like she had found the right person to be inspired by. Lisa was glad that Sam had become that person. At that moment, the girls were approached by their father, who was watching the boys fight. Johnson said there was a real murder on the battlefield. The girls greeted their father. The man said that he was also a magician, and he couldn't just sit still after feeling such magical power. The man said it looked like recognized her, too. There was even more of her than he could have imagined. But still, the man was glad that they hadn't destroyed their house. Lisa agreed with her father and said that apparently she underestimated Sam in his abilities. Johnson told the girls that he had the idea of keeping him in the magic army until he mastered his abilities. Johnson admitted that Sam's strength already surpasses his strength. The man was sure that such power would be more than enough for the position of a court magician. Like Gunther, he really wants to recommend him for this position. Lisa turned to her father and said that she was sure that Sam would be very happy with their recommendation. But despite this, Johnson said it would not be enough. Lisa asked her father if he was sure about this. The man said that judging by age would be very stupid, but Sam is still a minor. This would be unusual for a court magician, and many more people would be against it. Lisa told her father that there might be a possibility that someone else could recommend Sam. The girl asked what could be the commander of the magic army, but the man replied that he did not. He will ask for a share of the tire. Hearing this name, Lisa was very surprised. The girl asked her father what he was saying about his sister. The man replied that yes, it was about her. She was mentor, and she was also the one who was removed from the position of court magician. The man admitted that this girl is really very strong, and everyone recognizes her strength. Lise nevertheless asked her father if he was sure of this. The girl wanted to say something about Ms. Delete, but her father interrupted her and said that he understood her concern about this. But still, a man wants to try, even if it would be risky for them. But the man was absolutely sure about Sam. Lisa thought that of course Sam would be able to do anything. After all, he was his sister's student. But the girl couldn't stop worrying about Ms. Delete. Johnson invited Sam to his office and said that he wanted to recommend him for the position of court magician. The man admitted that his magic was strong enough to break Gunther's barrier. It was even stronger than Johnson had imagined. Sam was delighted with the pleasant words and he thanked the man. Suddenly, Johnson bowed down to Sam and said that it looked like he underestimated the guy. The man apologized to Sam, but the guy was not comfortable and he asked Johnson to raise his head. Johnson thought he knew what he was capable of. But it turns out he was blind. It was just a shame for a man. Sam replied to Johnson that no, he knows that he still lacks experience. Therefore, a man does not need to apologize. The man said he promised to recommend him. Sam thanked the man for his help. He asked Johnson if it wasn't Gunther who was going to propose him as a candidate. Johnson replied that they would both recommend him, but they still needed support. Sam asked if they wanted to ask someone else to do it. Johnson replied that his potential is beyond doubt, but there is a problem with age. Therefore, the man would like to introduce someone to him. He's talking about Master Delight Sinatra. Johnson asked the guy if her had ever told him about this man. Sam apologized, but she didn't tell him anything. The man said that everything was clear to him, or really didn't tell him anything. Sam asked the man who Master Delete was. Johnson said that this is mentor and a former court magician of the second rank. He was once known as the strongest magician in the kingdom. Sam asked the man that Mentor was the strongest in the kingdom. Johnson replied that in the past, yes. But a few years ago he was defeated and overthrown from his post by Albert Frage. Sam replied that he understood everything. He asked what it meant. Albert is now considered the strongest in the kingdom. The guy thought was the strongest. Johnson said is stronger. She just didn't like Albert, and the position of court magician didn't seem to interest her too much. Sam understood everything. He apologized to the man and asked that he didn't like Albert either. Johnson sighed heavily and said that he understood everything correctly. Sam replied that everything was clear. The man said that he was an aristocrat from a rival faction. He has a disgusting habit of bullying the weak. He uses his position as a court magician to achieve his goals. Johnson admitted that he couldn't stand him. Sam replied to the man that he thought he wouldn't like Albert either. The guy asked that if he defeated this Albert, he would become the strongest in the kingdom. Johnson replied that, in fact, it is. But he wasn't sure if he would fight. Sam asked that even a strong court magician is not the most influential. Johnson replied that it was. The first place is occupied by Lady Magnolia. She is a healer magician. So the man asked Sam not to fight her. Johnson asked the guy that he wasn't going to fight Magnolia. Sam replied that no, he wouldn't get into fights for no reason. The man replied to the guy that he knew this, but still he would definitely get into trouble. Like with Gunther the other day. Sam laughed at the situation and apologized to the man. Suddenly, Gunther came up to Sam and hugged him. Sam told Johnson that he was the one who was injured that time. Gunter called Sam his husband and asked if he had called him. Sam abruptly pushed Gunter away and asked him not to touch him and not to walk around someone else's house in just a bathrobe. Gunter replied that used to use this bathroom, and now Sam. The guy told Sam that he had a great swim. Johnson said he thought they were moving away from the main topic of their conversation right now. The man turned to Gunter and said that he wanted Master Delete to recommend Sam for the position of court magician. The man asked the guy what he thought about it. Gunter replied that he agreed with the man on this. He thinks Sam should meet the master. It will certainly be a useful experience for him. Johnson said he understands that. However, the influence of Master Delete remains strong. Suddenly, Gunter looked at Sam and apologized to the guy. He said that he had talked too much and ignored his husband. But Sam was outraged again and asked the guy what kind of husband he was. Gunter said that Master Delete is a magnificent magician in the prime of his life. He could probably break through his barrier. Sam asked that he couldn't do it right now. Has it become harder for him to fight with age? Gunter replied that no, he was not that old. The guy told Sam that since he was stripped of his position as a courtmaster, he began to wash down his grief with alcohol and eventually became mired in it. At that moment, Lisa joined the guys who asked Gunter to be more tactful. The girl told Sam that Master Delete was drinking more and more, and eventually he stopped using magic. Now his daughter Francesca is looking after him. Johnson said that he used to have many students, but now he doesn't have any. Gunter said he was a very difficult man, but by no means a bad one. And he always had a passion for magic. Lisa said that, however, after those events, he began to resort to alcohol. And now there is no trace of the man he used to be. His only remaining student was Johnson added that now that he has heard the whole story, the guy has to decide for himself whether he wants to see the Master of Delete. But he doesn't have to force himself to do it. Sam thought about it and asked Johnson if it was for his own good. The man replied that, frankly speaking, he hoped that the meeting with the master would lead to some changes in the guy. Sam replied that he understood everything, and if he's his mentor, then that means Delight is his mentor too. That's why Sam wants to meet the master. Johnson thanked the guy and said that then he would arrange this trip. The guys approached the carriage and Lisa asked the guy if she could distract him for a couple of minutes. The girl had a request for Sam. The guy replied that yes, of course, if Lisa asks him for something, then he's ready for anything. Lisa laughed a little. The girl said it was very nice of him, but still, Lisa asked the guy not to tell the woman that he was ready for anything, because it can lead to irreparable consequences. Lisa told Sam that she had a serious request about Miss Delete today. The girl said that Francesca is the daughter of the Master of Delete, Fra Wustex. She is her friend. Sam was surprised and said that he didn't know that. Lisa said that Fran still hopes for the return of Master Delight. Sam understood what the girl wanted to tell him. Sam told Lisa to leave it to him. The guy promised to do everything possible to help her as a student of Lisa was very pleased. She hugged the guy and thanked him. Sam was very embarrassed when the girl hugged him. Lisa laughed and said that he was so cute that she just couldn't resist. Sam replied to the girl the fact that she calls him cute does not particularly please him. Lisa replied to the guy that he was right after all. He was not a girl. Sam started climbing into the cart and said he would try his best for both of them. Lisa smiled at Sam and waved goodbye. The guy thought that it was strange. He would only be gone for a few days, but the guy was already lonely. When Sam arrived at the appointed place, Francesca met him there, who told the guy that they were waiting for him. The girl was glad to see Sam. The guy thought that she looked just fine. Sam introduced himself to the girl and asked her to apologize for the sudden visit. Francesca said he shouldn't worry about it. They had already been informed of his arrival, so the girl asked Sam not to worry. The girl said that besides, she had heard that Sam was R's student. Her father would surely be happy about that. Sam replied that he hoped that would be the case. The girl held out her hand to the guy, apologized for the late performance, and said that she was the daughter of Delia Sinatra Oke, Francesca Sinatra. The girl said that Sam could call her Fran. The guy replied that it was fine, but the girl could call him Sam. The guy told Madame Fran that she was a countess. He would appreciate it if she would stop addressing him so formally. Fran replied that it was fine. She would like to take him to his father as soon as possible. But before that, Fran said she was sorry if she made him feel uncomfortable about his father. Sam replied to the girl that everything was fine. Fran said that after her father found out about Er's death, he started drinking alcohol. He drinks more and more every day. Sam replied that he understood what the girl was feeling. Fran said it was just a sign of weakness. Sam replied that it sounded cruel to him. Fran told the guy that despite his young age, he was able to come to terms with the death of his dear mentor. Therefore, even the girl herself was ashamed of her father. Sam shared that he has a lot of memories of Fran patted Sam on the head and said he was such a nice guy. Suddenly, the girl abruptly apologized to Sam and said that it had happened by accident. Sam replied to the girl that it was okay, he didn't mind. Fran said she was just an only child in the family and she wanted a brother like Sam. The girl admitted that she was so ashamed. Sam replied that he would be happy to have a sister like Fran. The girl laughed and said that he was flattering her. The guys went to Fran's father, and the guy said that it was amazing for him that there were so many places to learn magic in this place. Fran replied that he had many students, but they were all no longer needed. Sam asked the girl that Albert had stripped him of his title of the strongest and removed him from his position as a court magician. Fran replied that this was not entirely true. It is true that Albert stripped him of the title of the strongest, but his father voluntarily gave up the position of court magician. Sam asked the girl why he did it. Fran said that her father could not stand the shameful defeat in front of His Majesty. Things could have turned out differently if Albert had been a decent man. But he is a coward, a bully, and a scumbag who likes to mock the weak. The girl added that her father could not accept that he was defeated by such a man. The girl asked Sam that he knew Albert after all. The girl said that he only comes to their house to mock her father. He even asked Fran to become his wife. He makes fun of them all the time. Fran apologized to the guy and said that she was sorry that she had become personal. Sam also apologized to the girl and said he needed to ask about it. Fran replied that everything was fine. The girl asked not to talk about Albert in front of her father. They had already reached his room. Fran knocked on her father's door and told Sam that she hoped he hadn't been drinking today. When the boys came into the room, Fran said that her father had visitors. He is a disciple of Mrs. Urarek and his name is Samuel Shate. Delete was sitting with a bottle of alcohol and looked at the guy. The girl apologized to Sam and said that she had told him not to drink. Sam replied that everything was fine and she didn't have to worry. The guy told the man that he was glad to meet him. The guy said he was a student of Urarek Shate Walker. Delete looked at the guy and said he was still a kid. Sam replied that yes, he was a minor. The guy thought that his skills had already been honed. Delete drank and said it was such a noble gesture to say hello to a fallen man like him. Although nothing good will come of it. Fran told his father that Sam was here because the guy wanted him to recommend him for the position of court magician. The man was surprised by this request and asked his daughter what she was saying. Delete laughed and said that court magic is not as simple as it can show a child. Sam replied that it might be so. But the position of court magician is just an intermediate stage. He is a disciple of and aspires to become the strongest. The man started to get angry, and he asked Sam how dare he call himself the strongest in his presence. Fran told her father that Sam was really very strong. She had heard that he had broken Gunter's barrier. This surprised the man. Delete asked Sam that he had broken the barrier of that strange boy. Sam replied that yes, it was. The man thought about it. Delete called the guy a kid, but he asked to be called Sam. The man said he was just a kid, that was enough for him. Delete asked that he was more than confident in his abilities. Sam replied that had trained him well. The man gritted his teeth and replied that it was fine. The man shouted that if he declared so boldly, then Delete invited the guy to see what he was capable of. Doe said that if Sam, calling himself a disciple of uses boring magic, then he will kill him on the spot. Sam replied that he would fight with pleasure. Fran was outraged by the guy's answer. But Sam was sure it was a good opportunity for him. Sam decided to see how effective his magic was against this man. He will see for himself. Delete told Sam that he had such a strong spirit. The man tried to get to his feet, but because of his intoxication, it was difficult for him to do it. The man started to get angry, and Fran told her father that he didn't need to drink so much. Delete replied that he hadn't had much to drink. The man asked the guy to wait for him until he took a bath and sobered up. The man asked him not to go anywhere. Sam told Delete that he could take his time. He asked the man to drink a lot of water. Delete watched the guy go with an angry look. Fran told Sam that it was amazing for her. She asked the guy what kind of magic he used. Sam asked the girl what she was talking about. Fran replied that her father had said he would fight the guy. She couldn't believe that he wasn't going to drink all day. Fran's father has not used magic for many years. His passion for her had long since died out. Maybe it's because he's a student of Sam replied that no, Master Delet's passion for magic had not faded. Sam asked the girl to take a look at his room and then she would immediately understand everything. There was an open magic book, a carefully polished magic wand. Sam said that the circumstances he faced made him despair. But he still couldn't completely give up magic. Sam loves magic too, so he understands Delet. The guy noticed that the man had a book without a single speck of dust. Without a doubt, his love for magic was huge. The guy doesn't think he's given up magic for alcohol. Sam thought about it and told Fran that he was probably trying to outdo Albert. Suddenly, the girl started crying and she replied to the guy that he was right. My father hasn't given up on magic yet. The girl said it was wonderful. Sam handed the girl a handkerchief to wipe away her tears. Fran thanked the guy. Suddenly, the guys heard a strange noise. Sam realized that it was coming from the entrance. Fran took off and ran towards the noise. The guy ran after the girl and he asked Fran what had suddenly happened. It was very sudden for him. Fran replied that the guy had come. Sam replied that it couldn't be. The guys saw a guy in the doorway and he shouted that he was the greatest magician in the kingdom, Albert Frege. The guy asked the guys how long they were going to keep him waiting. Fran called the guy Albert, but he corrected her and told the girl to call him Master Albert. Albert said that's what happens when a girl has no manners. Sam thought that this uncouth guy was the strongest in the kingdom. Fran told Albert that she doesn't know what he wants. The guy replied that he was not in this place for the sake of this eternally drunk loser. Fran was outraged by the guy's words, but Albert said he was more interested in Francesca. The guy told the girl that it was time to come back to him. He wants the girl to become his wife. Fran got angry and asked the guy who would even want to be his wife. Sam wondered what kind of guy he was. He would like to beat the bat out of him right now, but Ms. Fran is holding on. Therefore, the guy realized that now was not the best time for his appearance. Albert asked Fran to think about it. If she becomes his wife, he will take care of her dog. He might even recommend her for a position as an officer in the Royal Army. Albert said she was in debt, and all she had was a stupid mansion. Even her dad's last student left there. Albert asked Fran how she was going to survive. She will sell her body. Suddenly, Fran slapped the guy sharply in the face. Albert was shocked by this act. Fran told the guy that she would not tolerate insults, and she believes that her father will come to his senses. The girl said that besides, it's better to sell your body than to become his wife. Albert got angry and said he was too kind to her and she started to get impudent. The guy swung his fist at Fran and demanded that she watch her tongue. But Sam managed to stand in front of Fran and protect her from the blow. Albert punched the guy in the face. Fran was very scared for him. Albert asked what this guy was doing there. The guy said he was Samuel Shate. Albert asked the guy that he was a student of the dead Eureka. He can't believe that this little brat is her student. The guy was sure that had lived in vain. Fran asked Albert to stop talking like that. Sam told her that everything was fine. He didn't care what the bastard said. Albert started to get angry after Sam's words. Sam said that Albert raises his hand at the woman and threatens her. All he can do is do it and call himself the strongest. Sam said it was disgusting. Albert got angry and asked Sam to stop talking nonsense. He asked Sam what he wanted from him. Sam replied that he was challenging Albert Frege to a duel. The guy said that he wanted to get the title of court magician and the strongest man in the kingdom. So he asked Albert to give it to him. After a while, Delet came to his senses and started talking to Sam. The man said it meant Sam was going to fight Albert. Sam happily said that yes, he wanted to. But Delet shouted menacingly that no, he couldn't. Sam replied that he could not allow such a person to be a court magician, and even more so, to call him the strongest among them. Delet called Sam an idiot, and the guy replied that it could be. The man said that he was still the strongest in the kingdom. You don't usually get into a fight with such people. However, Delet admitted that he wanted to thank him for standing up for his daughter. After all, he's a father, he should be worried about her. Fran was glad of her father's care. But Delet said that if anything, he only said it for the sake of decency. Delet asked Sam that Albert had just left. The man thought he would eat him alive right there. Sam replied that he didn't know why, but Albert was excited and passionate about something. Fran said that judging by the expression on his face, he was up to something. Delete turned to Sam and asked the guy if he had a chance of winning. Sam replied that yes, of course there is. The man asked the guy again that he was sure he was saying this for a reason. Delete said that dueling with a court magician is not that easy. After all, his status is at stake. Delight wondered if the kingdom would approve or not. Sam asked the man what he meant. Delete asked Sam to listen to him carefully. The man said that the court magicians are initially under the jurisdiction of the king. The duel must be approved by the aristocracy and the king. The man added that no matter what Albert says, if Sam doesn't get all the permits, then nothing will come of it. Sam asked Delete what it meant that if he won, the king would recognize his merits. Delete replied to the guy that it was too optimistic an approach. The man said that only if he could get approval for the duel. Fran told Sam that he was risking his life. Delete said yes. He has a choice but to kill Albert or be killed by him. There is no other way. Sam told him that he had no intention of losing. Doi said he was saying that because he had never fought with him. Sam asked the man to let him ask who was stronger than or Albert. The man said that of course he had no doubt about that. And yet she was overcome by her illness. The man asked where it was seen that a student died before his mentor. Sam apologized to the man for the tactless question, but he had to ask it. The guy said that if that's the case, then he can win. After all, he had inherited a lot from his mentor. Delete replied that he was determined. He had a lot of courage. Delete asked Sam to go home. The guy was slightly surprised and wanted to object to the man. Delete added that he would consider recommending him for the position of court magician, but first he needed to deal with the duel. Delete said he had recently heard some rumors. Maybe they will give approval for the duel, or maybe not. Sam asked the man what rumors he was talking about. Delay said that the aristocrats behind Albert want to demonstrate their power. He probably doesn't mind either. Delete asked the guy to come to him early tomorrow. Sam agreed with the man. Delete said that in order to prepare for the fight with Albert, he is ready to look after his grandson. Sam asked Master Delete if he was sure. Fran also turned to her father, but the man said no. He asked not to expect much from a drunkard. The man asked Sam to understand him correctly because he's not worried about him. The man sent Sam home again. Delete turned to Fran and asked her to take care of the rest. The girl agreed with her father. Fran walked the guy to the cart. The girl thanked Sam for coming to them. The girl said she couldn't believe her father was taking care of him. Sam admitted that he was very pleased. Fran said she hadn't seen him so cheerful in a long time. It's all thanks to him. The girl said that he has become like this since he lost She was sure that Delay saw in Sam what the mentor had left behind. Sam replied to the girl that if this was really the case, then he was glad. Fran said she has no doubt that this is true. She feels it too. Fran told the guy that he reminded her of with his aura. Sam asked the girl if she really thought so. The guy replied that he didn't know if that was the case. But still, he wondered how he reminded them of Fran replied that to many, but especially by how confidently he confronts any opponent. Sam said it really felt like but still, Fran asked the guy not to overdo it. Sam replied that he wasn't going to do that. He would defeat Albert effortlessly. Fran asked the guy if he wasn't afraid. If she had been in his place, she would not have been able to speak out against Albert. It's so scary. Sam replied that no, he wasn't afraid of that. Besides, Fran also stood up to him and it was amazing. This surprised the girl very much and she asked Sam what he meant. Sam said that he knows for sure that Fran is very strong. The guy promised that he would protect loved ones until the last moment. Fran thanked the guy for that. The girl admitted that she was rooting for him with all her heart. She knows he won't let that bastard beat him. Sam thanked the girl and got into the cart. That evening, Sam and Albert's duel was approved by the kingdom. It will take place in a week. When was still alive, she was at Delete's and the man asked her if she was so strong, then what was the point of her staying with him? The girl replied that in order to learn the things she needed, of course, she still has a lot to learn. Delete asked the girl that maybe she would stop calling him master, because he was very uncomfortable. The man admitted that was stronger than him, and he doesn't think that the girl will be able to learn much from him. Asked that maybe he should learn to talk not like a boar. Delete got a little angry and asked the girl not to be smart. The man said that was unaware of his enormous power. She should take on an apprentice while she's under his tutelage. This made laugh and she asked Delete not to joke like that. The girl said that if she took on an apprentice, this world would be turned upside down. At that moment, Delate wondered when fate would prepare him for death. Suddenly, Fran came up to the man and brought him back to reality. He stood in front of Sam and said they could start. The man asked Sam to listen to him. Delete said he would look after him for a week, but he couldn't teach him much, especially when it comes to magic. Delete apologized and said that Sam was stronger than him. The guy has experience, so Delete was sure that traveling with had taught him a lot. And he was also sure that he had been trained in Lezeroth Taijutsu, and there was only one thing he could do with all this. Sam asked the man what he meant. Suddenly, Delete abruptly ran towards Sam, and the guy managed to notice it. Sam held his hands out in front of him to defend himself. Doi told the guy that he had great speed. Sam thought that if he had reacted too late, he would have been dead by now. Delete thought about how strengthening Sam's body was so natural and effortless. It was artful for him. As the man expected, he was definitely Ur's disciple. Delete told the guy that even if he couldn't teach him magic, at least he would make him fight him to the point of exhaustion. Suddenly, Delete raised his hand to the guy's eyes and was blinded by a bright plowing of light. It really hurt the guy. Delete took advantage of this and struck at the guy's neck. Sam grabbed his neck and realized that he was still alive. Delete told Sam that people can be spoiled, but on the battlefield it shouldn't matter who his enemy is. Delete threw a lot of punches and he interviewed the guy that if he decided to kill him, then let him act. He should not leave him the slightest chance of winning. The man said that Sam had just felt like he was killing him, and yet he didn't die. This could only be understood by experiencing it the hard way. Delete applied his power to Sam and said that Albert's flame was not like that at all. Sam turned to in his head and told her that he would give his best. The guy decided to use all his skills. The flames slowly began to go away and smoke appeared, but Sam continued to stay alive, which strained Delete very much. When the smoke cleared, he saw Sam behind it. The man was very surprised and angry. Meanwhile, in the kingdom, Lisa ran into Johnson's room and asked him why Sam had challenged Mr. Albert to a duel. Lisa was very surprised by this. The man told the girl that he himself had only recently found out about it, but he thinks the official decision has already been made. The man assumed that they would be notified about this tomorrow. Lisa was very scared for the guy. The girl asked her father if Sam knew about this. The man replied that he did not think so. At the same moment, Gunther bursts into their room and he turns to Johnson. The guy asked why Sam was going to duel with Albert. Johnson asked the guy that he was still here. Gunther replied that yes, of course. The guy shouted that he was Sam's wife. Lisa got angry and said no, it's not like that. Johnson told the guy he was pushy. He received Gunther and told them both to sit down. The man poured wine for everyone, and Lisa said that she would never have thought that Sam's duel with Albert would be approved. Johnson replied to his daughter that he agreed with her. He would like to see the whole story in real time, if possible. The man does not understand why everything should end in a duel, no matter how many times he listens. Gunther said that Sam's decision to protect Francesca was pretty crazy. Albert is notorious for his strange fascination with women. Lisa said that she had heard that he was not distinguished by exemplary behavior. The girl was wondering how then such a person could be the most powerful in the kingdom. Gunther said it was because he was strong. Lisa replied that everything was clear to her. The guy admitted that he didn't like this guy either, but domination of the kingdom was always decided by a duel. Johnson replied to the guy that even he admitted it. Gunther said that of course he would not be able to break down his barriers, but if it's just about strength, then Albert is the best, although he doesn't want to admit it. Lisa asked the guy why His Majesty the King approved the duel at that time. And he did it so soon. Johnson said that it seems that all the aristocrats support this condition. It must be that the king has something on his mind. But the girl said that it was still strange for her that there was only a week to prepare for the duel. Gunther asked the girl to calm down and be so nervous. Lisa was outraged that even Gunther wasn't worried about Sam. The guy replied that of course he was worried about him. The guy asked Lisa if she really thinks that a wife won't worry about her husband. However, the guy wants to see Sam defeat the most powerful man in the kingdom. Lisa wanted to object to the guy again, but Johnson stopped her and asked her to be quiet. Johnson turned to Gunther and said that this could not be. The man asked the guy what he thought Sam would be able to beat Albert. Gunther replied that yes, he believes that he has every chance to do so. The man asked Gunther what was even against Albert Freyg. After all, he is one of those who will turn both friend and enemy into ashes on the battlefield. Johnson thinks Sam will be fine, although he can't be completely sure. Lisa told the guys that he was still against the duel. Gunter told the girl that trust is also love. Johnson turned to Lisa and said that he felt the same way, but the decision to duel had already been made, so it can no longer be cancelled. The man said that besides, Master Delete looked after Sam. Lisa told her father that she was sure Francesca was very happy. Johnson said it was obvious to him that meeting Sam had changed him. The man knew that arranging a meeting between Sam and Master Delete was the right decision. Johnson said he was more concerned about something else in this situation. The man hopes that Sam will not do something stupid in the presence of His Majesty the King. Gunter said it was quite possible. Both and Sam seem to be very belligerent towards people they don't like. The guy thinks that there is a possibility that he will overdo it in front of Albert. Urs made mistakes like this several times, so he is afraid for Sam. Johnson said they were so similar to each other. At that moment, Albert burst into his house and said that Sam was a little brat. The guy was very angry and said that he humiliated him right in front of Francesca. Albert shouted that this scoundrel had not even reached adulthood yet, and he decided to challenge him to a duel. A duel, Aka. The most powerful man in the kingdom. A guy was sitting in the chair behind Albert and said that despite his age, Sam was a student of Urarike. The guy said that of course he had no chance, but it was wise to accept the challenge to a duel. Albert shouted that it was natural. The guy was very angry and said he would tear him to shreds in front of everyone. The guy reminded Albert that he had a ring. Albert told the guy that he had promised to keep it a secret. The guy asked Albert not to worry and said that it was just the two of them here. The guy said that besides, he spent a fortune to get this ring. The guy asked Albert who made him the most powerful in the kingdom. Albert told the guy to shut up because he understood everything. Albert talked about making him cry for mocking him. The day has come when Albert and Sam will fight in a duel. The judge shouted that a huge number of people had gathered at this place today. After all, a duel for the title of the strongest in the kingdom is about to take place. Sam was standing and talking to Lisa at that moment. The guy calmed the girl down and asked her not to worry about him. Sam said that he would be fine. He will definitely win. Lisa told the guy that she hoped so very much. Sam asked the girl to cheer for him and hold her fists for his victory. Sam headed towards the arena and told Lisa that they would see each other later. The girl was very upset, and she was very worried about Sam. At that moment, Fran, whom they had not seen for a long time, came up to Lisa. Fran was glad to meet her, and she said, how many years? How many winters? They haven't seen each other since she got married. The girl remembered that she was having a hard time then. Lisa replied that yes, it is. Lisa said that now it would all be in the past. She got to her feet. Fran asked the girl that she did it because of Sam. Lisa replied that yes, it is. After meeting him, she was able to recover. Fran told Lisa that she owed her an apology. Lisa asked the girl what she meant. Fran apologized for the fact that when Lisa was having a hard time, she did not come to her aid. Lisa asked her friend what she was talking about. The girl thinks that she also had a hard time at that time. Fran replied that no. Taking care of her father was just an excuse. Fran said she was ashamed to even look into her eyes. She was just a coward and a terrible friend. Lise asked Fran not to worry, because everything is fine. They can laugh carelessly together like before, that's what's important. They should be grateful for that. Fran was glad for her friend's support. The girl told Lisa that she had heard from Sam that she was practicing fencing again. Fran asked if that was the case. Lisa replied that yes, she had started studying. Fran praised the girl and said she looked good. People say that girls in love blossom. Lisa has become much more beautiful than the girl she knew before. Lise was embarrassed by this and asked Fran what kind of nonsense it was. Fran replied that she had already understood everything. Lisa looks so happy when she talks about Sam. Lisa was very shy and she blushed all over. Meanwhile, the guy approached Albert and asked him how he was doing. Albert was very angry and he asked the guy why he was there, what he needs. Albert said he didn't want anyone to think he had anything to do with the guy. This made the guy laugh and he told Albert that he had only one condition. The guy said it was about that sorceress. It will be terribly expensive. Albert was a little pleased and said that if it wasn't for his help, the guy wouldn't have been able to get it. So he's counting on him. The guy agreed with Albert and said that was it. Albert replied that he had simply taken up his time. Meanwhile, Sam was getting to know the ruler of the Kingdom of Sky. His name was Clyde Isle of Sky. Clyde told Sam that he had challenged the strongest court magician of their kingdom, Albert Frege. And it was Samuel who, surprisingly, is still very young. Clyde turned to Albert and asked him to look up. The king said that he expected a duel that would determine who was really the strongest in the kingdom. Albert replied that yes, of course. The king then turned to Samuel, and the guy was listening intently to Clyde. The man realized that he was watching how he would face the strongest man in the kingdom. Sam replied that he would never disappoint the king. Clyde also asked the guys to end the chatter at this point. He's looking forward to a great fight. The man raised his hand and said that the judge would be the commander of the first detachment of the Royal Magic Army, Oedo or Selphis. The judge said they were starting a duel. He asked both guys to stand up. Albert grinned at Sam and called out to him. He said it was too late for him to regret. Albert said he would play well while Sam was dying a painful death. The judge turned to Albert and asked him to watch his language. Albert asked the judge if it wasn't true. No one will blame him, even if he kills his boy. The guy asked the audience that everyone knows what happens to little fools who defiantly challenge him, but he's still not the devil. Therefore, Albert said that he would give Sam the opportunity to have his last word before the battle. The judge reprimanded the guy again and told him to stop saying that. Ludo turned to Samuel and said that he did not agree with Albert, but it was allowed to kill an opponent in a duel. Therefore, the judge said that if he wanted to surrender, then this would be his last chance to do so. Because once the duel starts, no one will be able to protect him. Sam thanked the judge for his concern, but still, he said he was fine. The judge said that if Sam had decided everything, then he would not argue with him anymore. Albert was very surprised by Sam's answer and said that he was a stupid child. Albert told the guy that he would let him enjoy the view of the most powerful magic. Even the losers came to watch it. The judge turned to Albert again and reminded him that he needed to watch his language. The guy agreed with him, and so the guy said they could start the battle. Ludo turned to Sam and said that the duel was about to begin. He asked Sam if he was ready. The guy replied that yes, of course he could start. And so the guys got ready for the most important event of the day. Ludo announced that it was time to duel for the title of the strongest magician in the Kingdom of Sky. They've installed special protection around the royal palace, including the spectator section. The judge asked the guys to fight to the bitter end. Ludo jumped back and told both sides to get ready for battle. The judge announced that they had started a duel. Albert didn't wait long, and he immediately cast fire magic in Sam's direction and told the guy to burn down. But Sam managed to put his hand out in front of him and protect himself from it. Albert started laughing, and he told Sam that there wouldn't be a speck of dust left of him. Albert doesn't know if he's Ulrich's student or someone else's. But still, the guy was sure that he would die here and now. At that moment, Fran and Delete were watching. The girl turned to her father and asked him what would happen if he really died. They have to stop all this, even if by force. Delete replied to the girl that he would be fine, so the girl doesn't have to worry about it. At that moment, Delete saw that Sam was still alive. Delete was shocked by what Sam had done. The guy ran out of the smoke and asked the man if they were okay and if he was injured. Delete asked the guy what it was. The man did not understand what had just happened. He felt magic, but it was something else, something more. Delete asked Sam if this was really his ability. Sam replied that yes, it was. Delete told the guy that he was hiding it in his arsenal. The man was no wonder why Ear liked him so much. Delete asked the guy that he hadn't dared to use it all this time. Sam replied to the man that he had noticed it. Delete replied that of course he noticed it. The man was wondering how he could have missed it. Man asked the guy how he thinks he's been practicing magic for how many years. Sam replied that it was difficult for him to control this ability, so he uses it only when the safety of others is guaranteed, and only when it is under threat. Sam said she also reminded him of his parents' house. Delete was surprised by this and asked what he was talking about. The man asked Sam what the essence of his ability was. The guy replied that she specializes in cutting. He uses it with magic. Delete said that was it. Sam and Delete said it was a divider, and so Sam abruptly pulled his hand aside and all the fire magic disappeared. This surprised Albert very much, and he asked Sam what it had just been. He was about to be surprised, but Sam ruined everything. Albert asked the guy if he was joking with him. Suddenly, Albert clutched at his throat and thought that he couldn't speak. Ludo realized that something was wrong with Albert, and he tried to shout at him. Albert will turn to the judge and ask him not to interfere during the duel. Ludo tensed up and asked Albert that he still hadn't noticed it. Albert couldn't understand what had happened to him. Blood was flowing from his mouth. He looked at his hands, but they were all covered in blood. Suddenly, the guy's body split into two parts. Albert's upper body fell to the ground and Sam said goodbye to the guy. Finally, Sam said that he had offended a lot of people dear to him, so now he would pay for it with his death. The king watching the battle. He sat in shock on his throne. The man could not have expected such a turn of events. The king immediately turned to the judge to announce the results of the duel. Ludo said that Samuel Shate becomes the winner. The guy bowed before the king and Clyde said that who would have thought that Albert would die in the blink of an eye? The king asked Samuel to let him ask him a question, and Sam answered him positively. Clyde asked the guy if he had a need to kill Albert. Sam replied to the king that he was a strong opponent in order to restrain his forces. Clyde replied to the guy that everything was clear to him. Then he said that everything was fine. Sam agreed with him. The king rose from the throne and announced that from now on he would become the strongest magician in the kingdom of Sky, and the second place of the court magician is his. But immediately Clyde corrected himself and said that no, the third place would be his. Clyde said that this place was occupied by Orrery K. Shate Walker. Sam thanked the king for that. Clyde attracted the attention of everyone present and informed them that the strongest magician of all time was standing in front of them. He called on all people to greet him. Sam raised his hand and people started supporting the guy. In his head, Sam turned to and told her that he had done it. Clyde turned to Samuel and said that he was doing well. Suddenly Sam saw Lisa, who was very happy that the guy had won. But the girl did not have time to hug and support the guy when suddenly Gunter flew right into Sam. Sam pushed the guy away, and Gunter with a black eye said that Sam was so shy. Lisa hugged the guy tightly. The girl enthusiastically said that it was incredible. Immediately, the lead came up to the guy, slapped the guy on the back, and said that he had done a great job. The man hugged the guy and said that he knew that Sam would win, but never would have thought that he would go so far. He had never been so happy as on this day. Sam turned to Master Delete and asked that he was no longer discouraged. The man replied that he thought it was too presumptuous to think that he could handle himself. Delete was very grateful to the guy. He realized that he also needed to move forward. Fran also decided to support the guy, and she told Sam that she was very grateful to him for helping his father get back on his feet. Sam replied to the girl that he did it for his own good too. Fran said that now this man would no longer bother them. It was like a stone had been lifted from her heart. Sam laughed at the girl's words and said that yes, she was right. From that moment on, Sam asked the guys to forget about him and start life with a clean slate. Fran replied to the guy that yes, of course they would. When everyone was congratulating the guy, Sam turned to and told her that he had become the strongest magician in this country, and now he will continue to fight until he becomes the strongest in the world. Meanwhile, King Clyde raised a glass to the new strongest magician in their country. Everyone started cheering and supporting Sam. The guy was surprised and said that he did not expect to have a party right after the duel. The guy hoped that they would give him at least time to change his clothes. Clyde walked over to Samuel and raised a glass to him. The king said that his battle was magnificent. Sam bowed before His Highness and asked for his forgiveness for his appearance. The king replied that it was okay, everything was fine. The man asked the guy not to be so formal, because everything here is especially for him. Sam was embarrassed and said that since he was doing it, it was good. The guy was ashamed to admit it, but he wasn't very familiar with manners. Clyde replied to the guy that there was nothing wrong with that. In fact, he owes him an apology. But Sam didn't understand exactly what the king meant. Clyde claimed that he had given permission for the duel, but it was the idea of Albert and his aristocratic friends. They probably planned to demonstrate all their might by defeating him in a duel. Sam replied to the king that he felt out of place among them. Clyde replied that no one had ever imagined that Albert would be killed in this way today. The king sipped the drink and said that the wine was amazing. Clyde was about to say something to the guy when suddenly a guard burst into the hall and called out to the king. The guard informed him that they had an emergency. Clyde asked the guard what had happened there. The guard replied that the dragon was heading straight for the capital. Clyde replied that it simply couldn't be. He asked the guard to explain to him what had happened. The warrior replied that the red dragon was heading towards the capital. He was already destroying the streets. Clyde was very scared and he asked why the dragon decided to attack their country. The king turned to Ludo and asked if he could mobilize a magical army. Ludo replied that yes, he could do it. Ludo said he would do it right away, but there is no guarantee that they will win this fight. The king shouted that he understood this perfectly well. However, they must defend their country no matter what. Ludo replied that of course he would defend the kingdom of Sky with his life. The king shouted to the court magicians that their turn was beginning. Sam watched as the king gave orders. The guy looked questioningly at the king and saw that Gunther had approached him. The guy asked Clyde if he didn't mind, then he wanted to fight the dragon. Clyde replied to the guy that he appreciated his offer, but he was a magician who had to protect the kingdom with barriers. The guy was one of those who fights on the front line. Gunther replied that yes, but he could at least buy them time. The king replied to the guy that he was the backbone of the defense of the country. He could not risk his life. Gunther replied to His Majesty that with all due respect, the court magicians of their country are absolutely not ready to sacrifice themselves for its protection. That's why he offered to help them. Everyone immediately looked at the guy encouragingly. Clyde turned to Sam and said that he was very sorry that the guy had to watch this spectacle. This is their state of affairs. Sam thought about how it was disappointment in its purest form. The guy was determined and thought that it wasn't every day he got a chance to fight a real dragon. Sam turned to His Majesty and said that he would fight the dragon himself. Clyde asked the guy if he was sure of his choice. Sam replied that yes, of course. After all, he is the strongest court magician in this country. The guy confessed that he had already fought the dragon with and now he is here, alive and well. Sam bowed his head to the king and said that he was waiting for an order from him. The king thought about it. Clyde decided to agree and he thanked the guy for his help. Clyde decided to rely on Sam. Meanwhile, Sam had already gone to carry out the order when Gunther stopped him. The guy told Sam that he would fight too. He doesn't want to put his husband in danger. Clyde turned to Gunther and told him that he had to stay on the defensive and nothing else. But then the king thought about it and he asked Gunther what he had just said, that Sam was his husband. Sam was very tense, and he asked Gunther not to fill His Majesty's mind with this nonsense in an emergency situation. Sam shouted to the guy that he would be the only one fighting the dragon, period. Gunther replied to the guy that he was too self-confident in this situation. The guy admitted that Sam had definitely proved his strength, but it was still a dragon. Gunther said he wasn't even sure if could handle him. Lisa turned to Sam and said that he was right about that. Lisa said that it was not just a dragon, it was a dragon of the highest kind, which is impossible to even imagine. Therefore, the girl was sure that the guy alone would definitely not be able to cope. Sam replied to the guys that he appreciated their concern. The guy asked the guys that if not him, then who would fight him. Sam apologized to them in advance if it sounded too cheeky. Sam told the guys that court magicians are a bunch of cowards. The Royal Magic Army couldn't handle a dragon. Sam was sure that based on everything he had said, he had no other choice except to fight a dragon. Suddenly, Lisa asked the guy to stop, and the girl said that she would also go with him. Sam replied to the girl that he didn't even want to think about what might happen to her if something suddenly went wrong. Lisa replied to the guy that she was too. Sam apologized to Lisa for this, and he asked the girl to trust him. He promised to return safely. Lisa was very sad, and she asked the guy if he promised her that. Sam replied that yes, of course. Lisa hugged the guy and said that it was good, then she believed him. Sam tuned in and told everyone, then he would go. Clyde told the guy that he was counting on him. The sisters asked the guy to come back to them as soon as possible. Sam was glad to have the girls' support, and he thanked them for it. The guy promised that he would come back to them. Sam jumped out of his seat and flew straight into the air. The guy thought that he hadn't fully mastered magic yet. Right now, he can only rely on his own strength. But still, Sam couldn't figure out if she would be enough for the guy in the battle with the monster. The guy told the dragon that he did not know what his motives were. But people dear to him live in this country, so Sam promised that he wouldn't let anyone hurt him. Suddenly, Sam saw a huge dragon in front of him, and the guy said that he was going to give his best from the very beginning. And now it's time to deal with the dragon. Sam thought about the fact that Western dragons are quite common in this world. Besides breathing, they have their own magic. What makes these dragons dangerous is not only their intelligence and a variety of tactics, but also their enormous firepower. Sam thought that the guy was definitely not going to take a blow from him, so he would attack the dragon earlier and kill it with fire. If Sam fails, then only death awaits him. Sam picked up speed and rushed at the dragon with all his might. The guy managed to deliver a powerful blow to the dragon. Sam said that he was going to take his life right now. The dragon tried to recover from the blow, and Sam asked him if he understood what he was saying. He's his enemy. Sam remembered that red dragons have firepower, and if that's the case, then water magic will be very effective in this case. That's why Sam used it. Sam rushed towards the dragon, which opened its mouth. The guy made a very powerful blow to the dragon, but he continued to attack the city. Next, Sam applied the foot of the water god. Sam tried his best to destroy the dragon or drive it out of their territory. Sam struck at the dragon's face. The guy struck one after another, but still he did not understand why the dragon was still not retreating. Sam was very interested in what the dragon needed in their capital. After all, at this rate, his magic will run out before his. Then Sam decided to use another magic. The guy turned to the heavens and asked them to grant the guy the power and blessing of rainwater. Sam prayed for the power of the raging waters and the whirlpool sweeping away the enemies. Sam told the dragon that he would use a higher level spell against him. The guy shouted that it was too late. He used the attack of the whirlpool of the rain god. Everything immediately began to rage. Sam apologized to the dragon and said that he had to get him out of the capital. The dragon and Sam landed in a remote place where no one was there. Sam stood on the ground and looked at the dragon carefully. The guy knew that his magic was almost gone. The dragon started growling and Sam thought he wasn't going to give up. The guy was absolutely sure that Or would have dealt with the dragon long ago. The guy turned to the dragon and asked if he could hear him. The guy said that he had deliberately chosen this place, where there were no people at all, and dumped him there in order to end everything here and now. Suddenly, Sam noticed that the dragon began to transform into a human. A girl in a long dress appeared in front of the guy. Sam was very surprised by this. The girl was very angry at the guy, and she said that he had inflicted such huge damage on her, the flaming dragon. The girl shared that for the first time in many years she was so badly injured. Sam replied to the girl that it was a part of him. The girl was indignant and said that she thinks her current form is much more convenient for battle. Sam thought that maybe the dragon form was taking too much of her strength. The guy also suggested that she just decided that the human form would be best suited for fighting with the guy. But anyway, Sam knew that this fight would be hard for him. At the same moment, Sam and the girl attacked each other. They were both very angry and each wanted to win. When Sam struck the girl, she screamed violently. In response, the girl also struck a powerful blow at the guy. Sam swung and hit the girl right in the face. His hand stopped near the girl's mouth. Suddenly, she attacked the guy and shouted for Sam to die. The girl dealt a serious blow to the guy. Sam managed to grab the girl's hand, and thus he saved himself. Sam swung his fist and hit the girl right in the face. He then struck several more of the same blows. Sam was very angry, and he shouted out all his emotions. At that moment, the girl concentrated her magic in her hands and directed it towards Sam. After a while, everything calmed down. The guys ran out of strength, so they stopped fighting. Suddenly, the guy looked at the girl and started laughing. The girl got angry, and she asked Sam what he was laughing at. Sam didn't answer, which made the girl even angrier. She asked Sam what was funny. The girl shouted that there was absolutely nothing funny about her. The girl didn't stop and asked Sam again that he thought she was funny. Sam turned to the girl and asked her why she was so eager to get to the kingdom of Sky. The girl asked the guy how dare he talk to her like that. Sam replied to the girl that he felt what was in her soul. After all, her cry is full of despair, as is her heart. The girl got angry and rushed towards the guy. She asked Sam what he had just said. Sam stopped the girl's next attacks and asked her to stop because he wants to talk to her normally. Sam asked the girl to calm down and explain everything properly. But the girl only asked Sam not to be stupid because they were the ones who kidnapped her child. Sam was shocked by the girl's statement. Sam asked the girl if she really thought there would be some idiot who decided to kidnap a baby dragon. Also in their country, the girl asked the guy what he thought about the fact that she did not know where her children were. From the city he so fiercely calls the capital, the voices of her little ones can be heard. Sam was shocked by this, and he replied to the girl that it just couldn't be. The girl insisted on her own, and she asked the guy to bring her to him. Sam looked at the girl questioningly because he didn't understand who she was talking about. The girl explained to Sam that Albert Frigg had kidnapped her children. She insisted that Sam bring her to him. Sam's eyes widened because he hadn't expected this at all. Meanwhile, Gunter stood on the balcony and looked up at the sky, waiting for Sam to return. The guy was very tense, and he said that he hoped that Sam was okay and he would come back safe and sound. The guy realized that he should have gone with him. Then he would have been calm for sure. Suddenly, Gunter turned his attention to the gates of their capital and realized that he saw Sam there. The guy immediately ran to Sam and said that he was very glad to see him back. The guy saw that there was a girl unknown to him next to Sam. Gunter started to get nervous and talk about how he was all injured. The guy was very worried about his sweet Sam. Gunter couldn't understand how it could happen that he had injuries. The guy turned to the Lord and asked him why he was sending Sam such trials. The guy said again that he still needed to go with him. Now he just needed to be cured. Gunter turned to Sam and said that in order for his wounds not to fester, he wanted to treat them with his tongue. Sam immediately grabbed Gunter by the hair and asked him to stop doing that. Sam called him an idiot and told him not to lick him because he would only open the wound. But Gunter heard that Sam told the guy that he was going to give birth. Gunter asked Sam that the guy wanted him to have a baby. Sam got angry and he asked Gunter if he had a problem with his ears. The girl gave Gunter a nasty look and she asked Sam what kind of pervert he was. Sam replied that he was one of the court magicians from the country, and he is also the heir to the ducal house. The girl replied that this is how it works. The girl told the guy that this country is not in danger of death without her intervention. Sam smiled at the girl and agreed with her. Gunter turned to Sam and asked him who the lady was. Sam replied to the guy that this lady, although she took human form, but in fact she was a fire-breathing dragoness who was going to attack their capital. Gunter was immediately very scared. Gunter replied to Sam that he now understood why such powerful magical energy emanated from her. Gunter asked Sam why this lady wanted to attack their capital. After all, judging by their appearance, they were fighting very seriously. The guy asked Sam if he was right. Sam told Gunter that the fact was that her children had been kidnapped and taken to the capital of the Kingdom of Sky. Moreover, Albert Freyge was in charge of all this. When he heard that name, Gunter was surprised. The guy slapped his face and said, "That Albert is a complete fool." Gunter said that kidnapping baby dragons is a serious crime, and besides, going against dragons is tantamount to suicide. The guy added that it was so expected of Albert. Sam asked Gunter what he meant. Gunter replied that there were bad rumors about him among people. One of them says that he, along with the aristocrats supporting him, caught magical creatures, and then he illegally sold them to exotic lovers. Gunter added that no one had managed to catch him red-handed. Sam also called Albert a complete idiot. Gunter said he didn't expect Albert to dare touch the dragons. It was just incredible for the guy. He asked the girl and Sam what they were going to do now. Sam thought about it and replied that they would return the children, but first they needed to talk to the king. Gunter told the guy that they might have conflicts with the aristocrats, so it was the right decision. Sam told the guy that he was glad that everything was going so fast. Harold told the boys that now, with their permission, he would go back to the palace. He asked them to come back later too. Sam put his hand out in front of him and touched the barrier. The guy turned to Gunter and asked if he could remove this barrier, since they would not be able to pass in any other way. Harold remembered about the barrier and said that he would take care of it now. Gunter pointed at Sam and said that he almost locked up his sweet wife. This angered Sam, and he asked Gunter what he was carrying. Meanwhile, the dragon girl and Sam came to the king in the throne room. Sam turned to His Majesty and he thanked the man for taking the time to talk to them. The guy apologized to Clyde for appearing in front of him in such an appearance. The king asked the guy not to worry about it. He asked Sam if he was okay. Sam replied to the king that yes, he had cast a healing spell on himself, so it wasn't as bad as it could have been. Clyde replied to the guy that he understood everything. He looked at the girl and wondered who she was. The girl was very serious, and she looked at the king with a pretension. Sam called out to the girl and made it clear to her that she should be more respectful in front of the king. But the girl replied to the guy that she does not bow down to people. The king got up from the throne and told the guys that everything was fine, and Sam didn't have to worry about it. Clyde turned to the lady fire-breathing dragoness. He apologized to the girl for disrespecting her. This is the disrespect the Kingdom of Sky has shown her family. The man admitted that he was very sorry that everything turned out that way. The girl replied to the king that she did not need his apologies, because she only cares about the safety of her children. Suddenly, the girl pointed to the guys with her hand. She pointed at the marquis and said that the smell of her children came from this man. The man wanted to be outraged and tell the girl everything. Treasure turned to Marquis Gordon and said that he was quite close to Albert. The Marquis told His Majesty that it was some kind of mistake because he was sure of his innocence. Clyde asked the Marquis what he meant by saying that the king was lying to him. The Marquis bowed before the king and said that he did not think so in any case. The girl got angry and asked the man what he thought. She would not be able to recognize the smell of her own children. The girl immediately changed completely and she became even more sinister. She asked the Marquis not to dare to lie to her. The man began to worry a lot because he was afraid of the girl. Clyde told the guards to bring him to his senses and interrogate him about all the circumstances. The king asked them to force them to hand over all the accomplices and arrest them urgently. At that moment, Sam thought about the smell of dragon cubs coming from him, and they know for sure that her children are in the capital. Sam thought that it would be logical for him to assume that the children were being held captive by the Marquis. Sam turned to His Majesty and asked if he could search Marquis Gordon's house. Clyde replied to the guy that he could easily do whatever he needed there. Only the main task that the guy faced was saving the dragon cubs. Sam replied to the king that he agreed with him. The girl turned to Sam and said that she would also go with him, and she was not going to accept refusals. Sam replied to the girl that he understood her. Clyde told the guys that the Magic Army and the Night Order would also go to the Marquis Gordon's house. They will definitely be useful to the guys. Sam was glad of this, and he thanked the king for his help. Sam told the girl and Gunter that they were heading forward in search of the dragoness's children. The guys hit the road. They came to a street with gorgeous big houses. There they were met by a guard who immediately stopped the guys and did not allow them to go there. The guard asked the guys if they even knew whose house it was. But in response, a guy's foot flew into the guard's face. Sam shouted to the warrior that this was the criminal's house and he was protecting it. The guards heard that a fight had started not far from them, so they rushed towards the noise. The warriors shouted that there were bandits there, so everyone else should go to their aid. Sam also headed towards the guards and said that this was happening just like in historical dramas. The guy realized what it meant. It was a raid. Sam asked the guards why they were so zealously protecting this house. The guy assumed that their master had ordered them to do it. The guys tried to defend themselves from the guards. One of the warriors replied to Sam that he was not going to say anything to a bandit like him. This angered the guy, and he asked the guard that's how he spoke. The guy said he would be next. Gunter came up to Sam and said that he would help him with this. He used his magical abilities and placed cubic barriers directly on the heads of the guards. The warriors stopped and they couldn't figure out what the guy had done to them. They grabbed their barriers and tried to ask the guys what they were. They asked for help, but Gunter and Sam ran past them, straight to the entrance of the house. Sam asked Gunter what he had just done. The guy replied that he had created a barrier that blocked their air. Sam replied that it was very harsh. Sam grabbed one of the guards by his clothes and asked that the dragon cubs were in this house after all. The guy asked where they were now, but the guard said with fear in his eyes that he didn't know that. The guard told the guy that their master only ordered them not to let any outsiders in. Sam asked the guard if he was telling the truth. He understands what will happen if he lies. But the guard only screamed in fear in response to the guy's words. The guard replied to the guy that he was not lying to him, but the owner often goes to that building over there where he points with his hand. But the guards themselves are not allowed to even approach this place. Sam thanked the guard for giving him the information. The guy knocked out the guard with a punch to the face and asked him to get some sleep. Sam told the girl that he had suspicions about this building. He asked the dragoness what she thought her children were there. The girl was definitely sure that they were definitely there, because she can smell her children and it's getting stronger and stronger. Suddenly, a woman appeared right in the way of the guys, who asked them to stop. Sam asked the girl who the aunt was, but the woman didn't like the way Sam called him and she was very indignant. The woman shouted to the guys that she was the owner of this house. She is the wife of Earl Gordon. The woman warned the guys that they would regret invading this house. There were many guards standing behind the woman who pointed their weapons at the guys. The girl's eyes immediately changed and she became even more sinister. The girl turned to Sam and asked him to let her destroy them all. But Sam asked the girl not to kill anyone. The dragoness replied to the guy that she understood him and she would try to do so. When the girl rushed past the guards, they immediately all lay down. The woman turned around and saw that her defenders were lying on the floor and they were no longer ready to defend her house. The girl told Sam that she didn't see the point in fighting scum like them. Sam turned to the woman and asked her if she knew that Albert and Marquis Gordon were involved in illegal trade. This fact surprised the woman very much. The woman immediately fell into a stupor and did not know what to answer him. The woman remembered the existence of Albert and she said that they had Albert. The woman asked the guy where he was now. Sam replied that Albert was no longer alive. The woman smiled awkwardly and asked the guy about what he had just said. Sam calmly replied to the woman that he had recently killed him. The woman started laughing from lack of education because she couldn't believe it. The woman replied to Sam that what he had just told her was complete nonsense. After all, she couldn't believe that some boy had killed their Albert. The woman did not know who would believe in this nonsense. Suddenly, Gunter came up to the woman, and the woman recognized him. She looked hopefully at the guy to find out all the information. The woman asked Gunter why he was here with this misunderstood guy. Gunter replied to the woman that he was there by order of His Majesty. The guy told the woman that he was very sorry, but what Sam had just told her was absolutely true. The guy told me that Albert died today in a duel. Gunter said that Albert's opponent was Samuel Shate. The woman could not believe these words, and she fell to her knees in front of the guys in horror and began to tremble. Gunter asked the woman that now that she realized that Albert was no longer alive, what she was going to do in such a case. Was she going to fight them? The woman started screaming and she told the guys that she was giving up. The woman begged not to kill her. She admitted that it was all her husband and Albert's fault, and she just turned a blind eye to it and didn't tell anyone. Gunter asked the woman what it meant that she would be willing to testify against Marquis Gordon. The woman answered the guy without hesitation that yes, of course, she is ready to say whatever is necessary. The woman only begged not to kill her. Gunter replied to the woman that it was good. He understood her. Gunter pulled back the curtain from the window and he asked Miss to look outside. There, the woman saw a lot of guards who came to the guy's aid. Gunter told the woman that as she sees it, they are not the only ones who are in her house on the orders of the king. Suddenly, Sam turned to Gunter and said that he seemed to have been deliberately stalling all this time, waiting for their arrival. Gunter replied to the guy that now they would have to share the glory with them, otherwise they would dislike them later because of this. Sam pouted, because he didn't really like it. The girl turned to the guys, and she said that if the guys were done with her, then they could go on and look for her children. Sam apologized to the girl for waiting for them all this time. The girl did not like the behavior of the guys, and she said that all people are so troublesome. Immediately after the woman, the guys went down to the basement, where the girl felt her children. When she realized exactly where they were, the girl quickened her pace. Suddenly, the girl's eyes widened as she approached one of the cages. The girl saw her beloved children, but she was very angry. The girl asked the guys how they could dare to chain her precious children. Nothing stopped the girl. She bravely grabbed the bars of the cage and broke them in 1 second to save her children as soon as possible. The girl turned to the dragons who were sleeping and she asked them to wait a bit. Their mother promised to release them right away. The girl put her hand to the chains and she wanted to take them off as soon as possible. But as soon as the girl touched them, her hand was immediately thrown back by magical force. The girl's fingers turned black from the magical effects, and the girl said that it was a curse. Sam asked the dragoness why it happened that she couldn't even touch the chains. The girl replied that it made her very angry. She said that someone had put a spell on these chains so that they could not be removed by force. The girl got angry and said that it was because of this that her children could suffer. Sam asked the girl if he could take a closer look at the chains. The guy said he could try to take them off. The dragoness asked Sam to stop, because she was sure that the same thing would happen to him. But Sam asked the girl not to worry about it because he had an idea.